We rolling again?
Choir director.
Oh,
Jack.
okay. Episode 72 of Young, Black, and Opinionated. Ladies, how has your week been?
It was cool. It was long,
Mm,
but weekends here, but weekends go by very fast. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
hey, Mondays are great. New fresh week. So meh.
I'm being in Atlanta next week. I'm gonna hear it's nice for what? And all the girls saying, like, hey, girls, make that up. I'll be right behind them, like, hey, hey, hey. Hold me up, hold me back.
And she was like, nice for what?
Why- you know, it's always
You
one hater
chose
in the
you
mix.
chose the wrong song.
Right. You chose
You-
nice for what? You think you would be behind
It's,
somebody?
it's a women empowerment song.
That's not empowering her. Would you behind it? I didn't pick you. I'll let you know. Now what? Excuse me, sir. That's your brother? Y'all look alike.
It's your brother. Wow, you're terrible.
I know. I'm sick. I'm sick in the
You're
head.
sick.
Anyway, episode 70. What's this? 2,
Corey
3?
Holcomb Jr.
What episode is this? 72 or 73?
72, fam.
72. As always, I am Reese Berry. That's Ara, EESE, BERRA. 4 Ys. That's Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and Instagram. Lassie.
I'm Lassie at Lola Baby on Snapchat, BAYBEE, and on Instagram and Twitter at La Creme Lola.
Boy.
Wow. It's Beyonce that got you. Anyway, it's your boy Mwanje. That's MWANJE. You can follow me on all social media platforms. That's yeah, all the social media platforms. Shout out to this person that's trying to call in. Yeah,
Okay.
check us out.
Well, as always, our website is ybopodcastmke.com. Lassie, tell them where they can find the radio show, which is separate from our pod, but actually I did it backwards. Tell them about the podcast. Where can they find that?
You can find the pod on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notifications whenever we upload a video. Hell, follow us on Instagram, YBO Podcast MKE. We do a lot on our Instagram too, so catch us there.
Yeah. Wani, tell them about the radio show.
Yes, ma'am. You can find us every week on every Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. You can find us on River West Radio. That's www.riverwestradio.com. And if you're local, you can always find us at 104.1 River West Radio. That's 104.1 River West Radio or www.riverwestradio.com. As the lady said, it's separate from our podcast. So we have, you know what? I just you know what? Y'all just terrible. Women are terrible.
That's hilarious.
Women are
Anyway, Wani,
terrible.
riverwestradio.com.
RiverWestRadio.com. Just check us out.
Let's not talk about it no more.
I'm fed up.
Oh, God. You're too funny.
Y'all got y'all out.
I know. We're sorry.
Y'all confidence all the way up.
Stop.
We be all night. I wanted to do a check-in with you guys.
Check in.
Yeah.
Not scared.
It's not a wellness check.
It's been over. Not prostate. I'm too young for that.
First of all,
I'm sticking my finger.
No, I want you to do that.
Lassie, what do you eat?
Corn?
They like corn. And yeah, the avocado too. At least he was trying to be healthy. Anyway, look at her face. Mwanje.
that's a whole lot of ass.
That is sick. Y'all are sick. Y'all are really shaming me right now.
Mwanje, you had avocado?
Y'all are ass shaming
What's
me
that
right
one
now.
thing you
This is
say?
I didn't
sick.
ask shame you. I just said
She
stick a
did.
finger in your ass. She
No,
said,
I don't want a finger in my ass.
You started this barbecue
I
shit.
didn't say that.
All
I
right,
said
all
I'm
right,
going
all
to.
right, all right, all right.
Anyway,
Let
I
her do
want
her
to do a
check-in.
check-in with you guys,
Mhm.
just about podcasting and where we are and things like that.
Okay.
Just our journey, just from the. I know we had a couple of check-ins, but I feel like we haven't had a real check-in since beginning of the year, right? On the radio show, first of the year, maybe the first episode of the year for us here. So yeah, just want to do a check-in. How you think it's going so far?
I think we're moving into another, every, thinking about 2 Chains. He said that he does, first he was Titty Boy, and he became 2 Chains, and now he's Daniel's son. I think that's the last one he's at now.
I heard that.
So yeah, he does a rebrand and it keeps them fresh, and I think that's what we've been doing. Got the new logo. We're planning some great events in this for the summer and moving on to the rest of the year. And yeah, I like the direction that we're going in. There's some things that we're working on. And the YouTube channel is definitely fresh. Not only are we posting our videos, but we're also streaming live on Tuesday as well too. So just doing things to keep us relevant. I like it. I love it. It's fun.
Lassie?
I'm just really, really excited for all the upcoming things that we have. And I always say, like, coming from where we come from, like, sometimes I really sit and think, like, even on my Facebook memories where I'll be like, episode 15, I'm like, damn, that was
Yeah.
a year ago. Like,
Yeah.
it's just funny to see that because it's like, damn, we've really been doing this since 2016. We've been doing this for damn near, 2 years. So,
2 years is life.
2 years of life. But you know, I'm just excited for all the upcoming stuff that we have. I know a lot of people have been waiting for some merch and things like that. So we got that coming. Like, it's coming, and I just can't wait. I can't wait.
That was my chance. Yeah, I just wanted to do a check-in. For me, sometimes, like you said, I reflect or I see those memories and I be like, damn, I remember that. And then in August, we'll be coming up on, well, beginning of September, but August, we'll be coming up on 2 years, which is insane to me because I'm like, damn, I remember when niggas bought the mic and we were sitting over there and it was one of them.
Cutting hair and shit.
I
Plastic
sure was
bag.
cutting my braids up. That's
Like
hilarious.
I said, young.
Black. Opinionated.
Opinionated.
Hilarious. So,
That's what.
Yeah,
Like
see.
the first 3 episodes, I'm like this nigga here yelling.
what'd you say, Lassie? Yeah, claim your shit. Anyway, but
Look,
yeah, I just wanted to do a check-in
no
with you
better.
guys. So, but yeah, it's been a fun journey so far. So I'm excited to see where we go, where we travel to, things of that nature. Speaking of podcasting, we do have the Milwaukee News. We have the podcast panel today.
Yes, Revel. Hey, so by the time you hear this, we will be done. So
We'll tell you guys about it next week.
yeah, we'll tell you guys what happened next
Or the
week.
radio show. Tune in.
So Mojo kept stumbling his words.
Hilarious.
But
and
yeah.
I want to kind of talk about what that is, or we talk about that.
Yeah, let's, I don't think we kind of really explained really what it is. But so tonight from 5 to 7, there's a podcast mixer. So,
Shaking hands and kissing babies, just playing.
it'll be help me, TZ Talks,
Help me.
Effing Ladies,
Technical
File, Evolving Chair,
Brunch with Besties. Duh.
Brunch with Besties, right?
Bunch of besties.
Brunch with Besties.
Good
Sweats and
news.
suits, I think. Right? Y'all said sweats and suits.
Oh no, Sweats and Suits. Good news out
I
of
didn't
LA.
say them.
And I think the Initiatives.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them though, so I think it'll be dope to kind of meet them and then everybody from LA and just kind of
Right.
come back in with the people from Milwaukee too, because I think it's been a while since we have some type of coming together
TZ.
event.
Did you say TZ too?
Yeah,
TZ.
Lassie said
Yeah, I
TZ.
said TZ.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody that's gonna be there, and yeah, we'll tell you about it next week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what's up.
The Bucks. So
The Bucks.
I ain't really got nothing to say. I just hear my coworkers and everybody
Right.
talking about them. So
I haven't watched any of the playoff games, but I just for some reason last night I know they won last night and they were down. It was 2-0,
Finally.
yeah, seeing that.
so now it's 2-1, and it just made me think about how we went to that playoff game last year, and I was like, dang, that was so cracking.
Yeah, it was.
It was cracking, but I don't know, Mwanje, have you been following the series?
They lost. They lost the first 2 games. If I'm not mistaken, it's very difficult for a team to come back. There's like I believe a 40% chance for a team to come back. Maybe less than that from a 2-0 lead. Yeah, they won. They'll be playing again Sunday. If anybody can go out, I think this team really strides off the energy of the crowd. So
That's true.
I worked, like I said, I was at work today, and somebody went to the game yesterday, and they were like, I've never heard the Bucks Stadium that loud before in my life. So, yeah, come through, show some love. We definitely want to see them beat the Celtics. Some are more optimistic than I am, but I do hope they get past the first round. But we'll see. Shout out
They
to the
got
Bucks.
no home spirit.
What's the
team
series at right now?
It's 2-1.
2-1.
Oh, okay,
2-1.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
So
We'll
yeah,
see what
they play
happens.
again. Like I said, they play again tomorrow.
Dang,
So
we was just there last year when they lost. That's crazy.
I know, right? That's what I
Time
thought
to
about.
time.
They
Like,
played. Who were they playing last year?
Toronto.
Toronto.
We
That's what I
literally just. That seems like yesterday. It's crazy.
yeah, I remember he was finna leave, and they started coming back. But
Yeah.
I remember Giannis was just so tired at the
Yeah.
free throw line.
He
was just
missed like 26 free throws.
Yeah,
Oh.
he was tired.
But you know what's crazy? When me and Lassie were close, it was cracking. But when we was up top, that shit was shaking. Like that's when everybody be floating, you can't see and shit. You like, like I love them games because it's like when they be playing and they be down, everybody be walking out, but you see that motherfucker stop and be like, and then like everybody hands be down. So when a motherfucker pass the ball, they pass it. And when that motherfucker shoot, everybody head do this.
Yep.
And then
Right.
everybody be like, ah! Like that'd be
Yeah.
the cracking part to me because everybody like, don't fuck this up.
Right,
So
right. Yeah, the energy, you can definitely feel the energy.
yeah, sports is such a like a critical thing because like people criticize you so quick.
Yeah,
And be
I
like,
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah,
like
you
you could
get
be having a
immediate.
bad day, like it's crazy, like so.
Fuck you, Giannis, and next thing you know, we love you.
Yeah, like
Like,
that has
whoa.
to be one of the most craziest things
Yeah.
to overcome. So
That is true though. Like people, 1 second they like. I remember the game that when we was
Mhm.
closer. Like this guy's Giannis, they'll never get the free
Right.
throws, and like he talking all this shit, and then like
pretty shit.
you know we coming back, and they like basically
Yeah,
what you just
Giannis,
said, right?
like-
Like damn, you
like-
just talking about him. Like I mean, obviously I guess when you talk about a player's skill, it's kind of
Yeah.
constructive because as a basketball player. You want to always be better at what you're doing
Right.
and work on things like free throws because free throw, like
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
nigga
true.
was
Free
free
shot,
shot,
my
my
nigga.
nigga.
Yeah, absolutely.
right. So I mean, I get where he was coming from, but it was like, damn, like you just turned on him quick, and now look
Mhm.
at you back. Now that he back in your good graces,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah, but, you know, the fans, like, to that point, like, the fans are, like, really, your point too, Reese, the fans are, like, really clinging on. So,
Yeah.
and they're like, when they, you know, you piss them off. But,
Well, like Kanye said in this game, you can never win. First they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. So
mhm.
facts.
yeah,
Speaking of the Bucks, I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. If you got an opportunity to watch the game yesterday, they kind of posted him on the screen and kind of made an announcement that he is a minority owner of the Bucks. And so, some of the co-owners of the Bucks, they kind of said that Aaron Rodgers is a winner. He's a Wisconsin icon, and we are honored to welcome him to our partnership group of the Milwaukee Bucks. And with the team being in the playoffs and it's a new arena, it's just everything so fresh with the Bucks and with the city as well too. So we might see a little bit more of Aaron Rodgers, while he's off in the offseason. Here at the Bucks, he did make a statement. He said that I proudly call Wisconsin my home for the past 13 years, and I am thankful for the friendships and the opportunities I've been given to live and play here. I'm excited and honored to deepen my connection to the region by joining Wes Edens, Mark Larcy, Jamie Dinan, Dinan, and Mark Fetticelli, some
fair enough.
rich Italian name,
Right.
and the owner group of the Milwaukee Bucks. As a huge fan of the NBA and the sport of basketball, this is a dream come true for me, and I look forward to furthering my affinity for Wisconsin sports as a minority owner in a team I love and support. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers on that. Yeah, man. I was joking with the ladies here before we started, and I was just laughing. I was like, they probably gave him. He didn't buy it. He probably gave him that shit for free so he could stay here with the Packers, so doesn't move for another 13 years. So, but no, if he did buy, he did buy a piece of it. So, yeah, it's good to see Aaron Rodgers take a stake into it. I don't know. What's some of your thoughts, ladies? What you think?
It's cool. Like you said, it sounds like could be the issue you just said. Maybe a way to get him to stay here. But maybe he just found interest. I think he visited a couple of the games before,
yes.
and you up north, and why not support the basketball team here?
I was gonna say, the hometown team.
Not to get off subject, but on subject, I was talked to one of my coworkers, and I found this very interesting. He was showing me somebody's Facebook status, and he was like, the guy was saying that he was out in Madison, he was at the bar, and the Bucks are playing. So he's like, hey, can you turn on the Bucks game? And the bartender, whomever, was like, I don't want to watch that ghetto basketball. And I was like, and the guy was just kind of saying in his status, like, that's sad. Like, if you're going to support Wisconsin, you can support everybody else. And I was just kind of like, that's
Ghetto
very
basketball.
trashy. I was like, ugh.
But you watch football, and we still are the
Yeah,
main
exactly. A lot
majority.
of things went through my mind, and even for the guy to kind of be like, "What?" and he had a whole status. He was explaining like what happened and telling the guy like, "No, that's not true, and you ought to be ashamed for saying that." So, yeah, it's just quite interesting.
Ghetto basketball.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sterling Brown. He came into Brownstone Thursday. So I guess I don't know if they didn't have practice or nothing like that, but yeah, he came in with a whole bunch of girls just following behind him. I was like, wow, this groupie thing is really real. It's not a game.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But yeah.
Zeke showed you on loving basketball.
Yeah, and this is the I think is the week still continue for Black
I
business?
think today is the last day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so I spent a little bit in there.
yeah, so
Okay.
shout out to Milwaukee. Shout out to everybody doing something. The restaurants, the people, podcasts. It's a growing city, so we look forward to seeing the future of it. Let's get to question of the week or Ask YBO.
Ask YBO.
So, Lassie, you want to lay that out for us?
Oh yeah. So shout out to TS. He sent us a bunch, and so this question that he sent says, if you were on a plane about to crash and you could only make one call, who would you call?
Oh Lord, that's a great one. Oh man, y'all wanna go first?
Yeah, I call my mom.
Your mom? Okay.
hmm
Your mom. Any particular reason why?
Yeah, when I travel, she'd be the first one to hit me up ASAP. Did you make it? Like, damn well it take this many hours. You gonna try to contact me with this? Like,
That's so
yeah.
sweet.
So I know she'll pick up and be like, she'll probably be panicking like, what?
Oh,
But yeah, I definitely call her.
she's such a Riverside alum. I love her.
They
I
got
love your
shit
mom.
they with
Right.
mother's love.
Hey,
Right.
It's the tiger love.
She don't know
huh?
me like that, but I feel the love from her. I love you too, Mama Pam.
Here we go.
You don't love my mama. No, you don't love my mama.
We're gonna make it somewhere and have all our mamas in that video like 2 Chainz.
I'm just trying to make my mama proud. Mama ain't raised no hoe.
My mama gonna be like, who was that? Who was that, Young Thug? What's the one little nigga name?
YG?
Savage. Was he in that song?
No, it was YG and
Who the other nigga?
2 Chainz.
Who the other? It was 3
Oh,
people.
Offset.
Okay, it was YG mama then. That's gonna be my mama.
Mama ain't
What you
raised
doing?
no hoe. I was like,
You said
mama
do that?
ain't raised.
That's not
I was
what I
like, my
said.
mama would be in the video. I was like, you cussing. Stupid ass down. Stupid ass
yeah,
down.
so shout out to them
Over there
anyway.
cussing.
Who you calling?
Last, who you calling?
I would call my mom, and
Your
it's
mom
funny
too?
because when I saw the question, I was like, I'm pretty sure everybody gonna say their mama. I don't know what you gonna say because of the way you kind of reacting to what we saying, but I would call my mom because just like Reese said, when I travel, my mom travels a lot too, and we're one of the first people that we
Mhm.
both call, like, did you make it? Things like that. I mean,
Your mama, like, what you talking about?
it's
Call
my
mama.
mom. Like, I mean, to me, I only have one parent, so
Mm-hmm.
if anything was serious was finna go down,
Yeah.
that's who I would call. My granny ain't never got no goddamn phone, or I would call her.
That's what I would call.
But I would call my mom.
Yeah, I'll call my grandma because I know the information is going to spread like wildfire. As soon as I let her know, she's like, "You made it." And the next thing you know, Mama get off work. Hey, I heard you made it. It's
Right.
like so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's information.
Granny's what is that? Everybody, granny? Granny's just be talking,
Well, I
telling
mean,
everybody everything.
yeah. Well,
It's her job.
she's the oldest out of all her brothers and sisters now. So
Mm.
so everybody call her anyway. And like,
Yeah.
and I was on the earlier. I was on the phone with my little sister, and I just heard her phone ringing in the background. Like, who am I talking to now? Just talking. So
Mhm.
but yeah, though. So that's dope. Shout out
Interesting
to TS.
question. I kind of read it and went, ooh. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that was kind of a difficult
Yeah.
one. But after hearing
Yeah,
that, so I'm
especially
like,
hearing
"Oh."
about that Southwest plane that went down.
I
too.
know.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was
We
like
had
not
that-
That was
Southwest.
insanely. It was just funny because I was my mom or somebody was telling. I was like, yeah, but it happens.
It
not
happens,
a lot,
yeah.
but it happens. Like,
Dex was telling me the same thing. He was like, "Man, I'm going on Southwest in 2 days." I'm like, "You be fine, man. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen." Like, think about a car crash. Car crashes happen every day.
more often than
right.
anything.
So, but would y'all think the real quick? Y'all think the $5,000 would kind of like make you in the $1,000 voucher? Like, you think that would kind of like make you feel better about the situation, or
Wait, what happened?
they got so everybody else in part of that
Like,
That flight.
flight got $5,000 and $1,000 travel voucher. So
is it tax free?
I don't know, but like would that kind of like make things like easier, more comfortable? Because I don't know if the travel voucher is just for Southwest. So
I'm
I
sure
maybe,
it is.
yeah. So I'm wondering, like, is it for another flight, another company? But I don't know. I think the
Yeah.
5,000. I mean, I don't know. I never flew
mean,
Southwest, so I don't know.
See, I've never had any problems with
Yeah.
Southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest is actually my number one. Like, some people say it's
Really?
expensive, but the thing is, you cannot beat 4 free bags. Like, you
Yeah, be on
can't
there
beat
clowning
that. Like,
niggas.
you
No.
can't beat that. Like,
They're the reason why I overpack.
right.
Like if I
You
take
really-
somebody else, they
Yeah.
I'm a
be
light packer.
they be
I
like,
mean, yeah.
because like I always have a shoe. It gives me the option. I can have a shoe bag and a clothes. Like I ain't got to worry about combining or having a small shoe bag or like trying to figure out like you got the 2 carry-ons. You be out there clowning. But like
Right.
Lassie said, I never had an issue with Southwest. That's my favorite,
Mm.
like domestic and it can be international too. Airline, because of the bag and just the comfort, I like the comfortability and
Right.
everything.
I'm just
so
a proponent of picking my seat. Like,
I love that. I love that.
I don't like making too many choices.
I think for me, it depends on what group I'm in. But
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, if I'm in A or B, I have no problems. It's
Cause you get right, because A is like the first one, right?
Yeah.
First
Okay.
letter in
If
alphabet.
I'm in C, right?
Well, I know. I feel like they have like a sky, sky priority or something like that.
They,
You know.
they do. I mean, they do, but
Families and children.
right. It's not that bad because
Okay.
the family's gonna clump together regardless. And
Yeah.
a lot of families actually sit in the back. I don't know why, but whatever.
Mm.
But
You don't want to hear my baby scream.
I would take it. And hey,
Yeah.
out of Southwest's run. This happened once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I
From what
would
we
be
know, yeah.
okay, right? And they said something about them doing like some test. I don't know why they weren't doing it before, but yeah, I would take the cash and my little voucher and find a nice little flight. Shit, might
Yeah.
find 2 flights for that price.
Maybe tree.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I like Delta. I like Delta. They are a little bit more expensive, but I do like
Well,
the.
not really.
I've flown. I don't think so. I've flown
No.
Delta
Really?
before, and
really.
they were reasonably priced.
I did Southwest for Atlanta, and they're like just a tad bit cheaper, but with Delta,
Love them. Give me my peanuts.
right? With Delta,
Sprite, please.
because their hub is in Atlanta. I just wanted to build more mileage with them because I've been using them for quite some time now. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, choose your flight. I think if I was maybe a shorter destination, like maybe Denver or something like that, maybe I might choose either Frontier or Southwest.
Frontier because they're based in.
Yeah, they're based in. Denver.
I can't remember the last time I flew Delta. It's been a minute, but when I flew United and Frontier was okay. The seats were hard as a bitch. Shout out to Stacey though, because she got us the window or the what you call it, the exit
emergency
row.
exit.
Oh, you get
So-
that's nice space.
So I got the
Ooh.
especially for Frontier because I didn't never flew them, so I didn't know.
Oh, you paid attention to that lady.
And then United, I don't like having my seat picked because when you be last or you be trying to figure shit out, like people be in there like you be that's my seat. Yeah, ugh. No. Go back there. Shit. So
Yeah,
I like to
I
choose.
like a window seat. I
Yeah.
don't like the aisle seat. People walking up. I'm like, I keep.
It depends. When I'm
letting
flying
you
long
back
distances and it's a
in.
packed plane, give me an aisle seat. But if I'm like close, then I'm cool with the window seat. So
I like looking
Yeah.
at the clouds. Like, nigga, this is crazy.
yeah, I prefer that. But if I'm going to South Africa again, nope, give me the aisle seat.
Now
No,
see,
no.
we was blessed to not have like first 3 flights. I think we didn't have anybody there, and then the last flight, somebody bitch ass want to sit down. When
That was
actually
cool,
be,
but on the way
actually
back,
want to show
woo.
up.
Yeah, give me that aisle seat because we gotta pee and everybody want to get up. You be sleep.
Hey.
Like, nah, fam. Let me be on the aisle so I can get up and move when I want to.
I mean,
so
we get that pocket of air when you go to Africa. We niggas like I'm going to sleep.
Nah,
Niggas
nigga,
like I'm going to sleep.
that was over the fucking Mediterranean. Once you hit fucking Morocco, it was like,
I was like, oh Jesus, like.
damn, we just got to the continent. He said, where we at? Algeria? Like, oh, shit. Yeah, no, mama. Yeah, it wasn't a bad flight though. Both of them, that was the only time.
You know, people get so funny. People are like, I can't do that long. You be sleep for most of the time.
Yeah, like you be
so.
surprised. Like you be talking and shit. You be on your phone.
I watched so many movies. I done
Yeah.
saw Creed. I done saw all type of
Right, I
movies
watched
from
the
last
other
year.
Compton. The movie's like
Yeah,
2.5
Straight Outta Compton,
hours.
yeah.
That's 5 hours right there.
Right.
Like you good.
You can charge up your phone, like you said.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
You be kicking it. Once you see that little
Right.
shit close, you be like,
the little app thing with that little plane
Right.
going over the continent. You are traveling 300 kilometers. Kilometers, bitch, give me miles.
but the most terrible part is when
Bye.
you all the way up here and then you got to go to the tip. You like, and I think we kept saying like, I can't believe I'm doing this shit. Like
Yeah.
this shit is fucking stupid. Like,
I'm
so.
ready to go back, nigga. I
Yeah.
am ready.
I want to talk about Cape Town a little bit later too. So, or the whole South Africa country. So we'll talk about them later. But yeah, shout out to planes and flights and everybody be safe out here and
Buses in the sky.
travel on, Bubba, travel on.
Trapped. The taxis, sky taxis. Speaking of that though, just businesses in general. I want to get you guys' opinion on black-owned businesses. I ran across this article on Facebook, and I got a little question for you. I'm gonna ask you the question first, then I'll read the article. Do you think for black business owners and any business that you all decide to do in the future or now, do you think it would be advantageous to let people know that you are a black business owner? You think there's any advantage to that?
It can be. It depends on. I don't know. I guess it depends because you could just say I'm a business owner, but I guess if you use it to your advantage in certain situations, you can.
Or say, for instance, you own the business and you didn't want to let people know that you're like you. That's what you think. I'm gonna let I'll get into it later. You think it's advantageous for you to say that you're a black business owner?
I don't know. I guess
Right.
it depends.
Right.
Like it could depend on a number of things. Like
Yeah.
who are you talking to? What are
Right.
you guys actually
Yeah, tell
talking
us about
about?
yourself.
So you're trying to build a white clientele. Would you let them know that you're a business owner? You own the business.
So you're saying if I sat there in front of them, I said I'm a black business owner, or say I own this business? What do
No,
Or
but you
if they
let
come
them
into
know
my
that you-
business and I say I'm the
you're,
owner,
you're seeking out new clientele. You go to their place or whatever, their place of business, and they're like, who owns the business, and they're like, I'm the business. And they see that you're black. Would you let them know that, or would you kind of say like, well, on behalf of the boss, the manager, they told me to come here. I'm the senior developer in my business. Would you let them know that you own the business?
I would probably, off top, I would probably say, yeah, I'm the business owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let 'em say
Shit,
that.
it's my business.
Right. I wouldn't
Okay.
lie
I ain't
about
finna
it.
lie.
Okay. I'm just asking. There are a couple entrepreneurs in this article. Shout out to the Chicago Tribune. There are actually some business owners that said that they did not let people know that they own the business. This guy named Dewan. He owned this company. He owned a patio company, and he generated over $6 million. But what he did was, he told the white clientele, the people that he got business from, and said that he wasn't the owner, but he was actually a representative from the sales team, and he found that it was more lucrative that way to do that.
I figure you say that, yeah.
And the reason why he did that was because he said the white clientele are perceived to be racist, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So now he grew that business, and now he does another company. What it says here, I forgot. Um, he does some company in Naperville. I think it's a design studio company. They do landscaping, and now he does tell him that he is the owner of the business because he got more money and stuff like that. But there's another company too. His name is James Parker. He's a tech entrepreneur for beststatenight.com. And he said the same thing, that he would tell people that he's like a programmer, this, that, and the other, but he didn't own the business. So like, with that being said, like, do you think that's like, with everything that's going on, the Black Panther movement, not Black Panther movement, but Black Panther movie, and being black, do you think like that's kind of, I don't know, bogus in a way? Because it's kind of like the slave times. Like, black business owners back then would pretend like they weren't, the owner of the business, and then they would go and get the money and stuff like that.
They had one.
It actually just made me think of I was gonna say Blackish, not Blackish. What's that other show? Fresh Off the Boat. So I don't know if y'all watched that show, but it's about an Asian family, and the dad moved the family to Orlando, and he opened up a restaurant, and he was noticing that he wasn't getting customers, and he figured it's probably because I'm Asian. So he was like, I need to find a white host, so when they come in, they see this white man instead of seeing me, and they'll want to eat here or whatever. But the show is set place in 1995. So I don't know. I don't think it's. I don't know if I want to say that it's bogus. I think it's kind of sad that some people feel that they have to do that for them to get business, or for their business to advance and progress. But I don't think it's bogus. I mean, ultimately, you're the business owner. You can do it however you want to do it. But I guess. I don't know. I guess when I create a business, I would think of my clientele before that, and think of who I want to really reach. Right. So if I have to tell people that I'm not the owner for them to come to my business, then I don't know.
I think it depends on the type of business you have too, because first of all, I want to say it does remind me of when people do job interviews and they change their name or they put something else, so they white, or they leave that section out. It's kind of like doing that.
Yeah.
But if you think about the type of business you have, he does landscaping, right? You're going to these people's businesses and you're going to their homes.
Yeah.
So I can see why he may say, I'm not the owner, I'm not this, because they may say I got this black dude and whatever type of, if they are racist or, he might steal, things like that. I can see why he would do that. But if it's something else where they come to me or something like that, it depends. If it's a restaurant, like, I don't know.
Let me give some notes to chew on. I like that phrase. It's James Parker. He said, the idea in any tech startup is to grow it, make a lot of money, and dump it for more money. He said, as soon as you say it's black owned, white people will believe that it's only for black people, and black people will look for something wrong with it.
Well, it's kind of like our
truth to that?
podcast. People say I will call in, but I'm not black.
Yeah.
And this wasn't just white people. People just think it's just, and I think of the era that we're in too. People be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna listen. I like y'all though. Call in, shit."
Fabio Cody.
Right. I think you can't not say there's not a truth to it. I think people do think that.
I agree.
And then the last quote here from another representative. She's a lady, Pepper Miller. She's a market researcher. Pepper Ann. She has a market research and planning firm in Chicago. She says, it's not about anybody selling out. People are trying to survive. There's a perception that black people can only do black stuff. Miller, who began focusing on black consumer marketing when she was denied broader work when she started in the 1980s. She said, it's pretty much the truth, but it ain't pretty, but it's the truth. It's called racism. As much as we want to feel it like we're not dealing with that, we are. So you think that's a little hint of racism, or is it just more so of, nah, I don't, I don't want to, from white people's standpoint, like I don't want to really, work with those people, or is it stereotyping? I should say, or is it both?
Both.
I was gonna say I think it's both.
Mm.
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say like what Reese just said. Like even with us, people think because we're young, black, and opinionated,
Mm-hmm.
some people might think because it's a black-owned business, it's only for black people to go to. But who's to say? Like, what if I wanted to open up a damn jazz bar?
Mm-hmm.
That don't gotta be for black people. It could just be for whoever. But because I'm a black business owner, some people may look at it and say the owner is black, so I don't feel comfortable going in here because we're not black. When that's not even the vibe or
Right.
what's
Mhm.
really really going on in my jazz club. Or some people would just simply be like, I'm not going to this jazz club, I don't care how great it is, because the owner is black. I think it just really weighs on what type of person it is.
Yeah, depends on if that's what you grew up with or whatever your
Right.
mental mind. I don't know.
Mhm.
It really ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but kind of made me think of it though. I remember one day I was at work and was it Liz went to the bathroom or something, and she came back. People come in and get their shit together. So she's like, I went to the bathroom. There was this couple sitting in front of somebody's
Mhm.
window. And she's like, you can't sit right there. People actually come to this window to get help. The seats are over there. So seats in the corner and there's seats, which is stupid, over here by where we go in at. So she said she came back from the bathroom. They were still sitting there. And it was this old white couple. And she's like, excuse me, ma'am, you got to move. I just told you basically, there's seats over there. And she came back in and we came up with the theory that they didn't want to move, or she said they kind of are like, oh, like trying to act like they didn't hear, or they were confused. And she said she went back out just to see, and they were like standing up by the wall. And the theory was that they didn't want to go sit there because there was a whole bunch of black people sitting over there.
Oh,
And they're like these
gosh.
old white people. And I was like, cause like she's like, I just told them like their seats move, like you can't sit here, like people, because it was like when your name is called, you come sit there. So if you sitting there, how the fuck, like, so it was just funny because it was just kind of like, fam, you can move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my final thoughts on it is, when you start a black-owned business, and black people, generally, as of now, our growing power, buying power is, in the trillions, and it's crazy.
Yes.
But you figure you don't, as a business owner, your job is to create as much market share as possible and much profit as possible. You would want to broaden your clientele. Your prospects. So it's just crazy to see, like, yeah, you can focus on being a black-owned business, but I think they have some truth to that. I never really sat back and thought about that. How there are still some people that don't want to deal of our other counterparts don't want to deal with us because we are black. So yeah, yeah, that was that. I just want to throw that out there. I saw that article and I thought it was very interesting, very very interesting that a lot of black CEOs and business owners still kind of deal with those challenges.
Yeah. Interesting. I just want to kind of talk about the state of the department store, or just, I guess that would be considered department stores.
Mhm.
As we all probably know, because I got that alarming email, that very
Mhm.
threatening email
Man.
at work about Boston store closing. Because me and Liz, we both shop there. I shop there here and there, but we both got
I
cards.
got a lot of my cologne. from
So,
there.
I was like, you got the email? She's like, I didn't check it. So just kind of like, yep, we going out of business. You can no longer use your rewards cards or your credit cards. Cut them up.
Mhm, mhm.
Liquidation starts tomorrow. You can come in and buy shit, but not with your card. So yeah, so it's just interesting because Boston store recently just fell off. Toys R Us,
Mhm.
and we were talking to this guy, and he was just he'd be like reading tax laws and shit, and he was talking about Nexus, which is like a term they use in terms of having a connection within the state with Amazon and all that and taxation. And it's like, do you protect the consumers or do you protect the state? It's really interesting when you really learn about like taxes and things like that. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the growth of the internet, like Amazon, and I think stores are complaining like, we get charged, we have to charge sales tax here, and people can buy it online and they don't have to pay sales tax, and that affects our business. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of talk about the fall of that and kind of what you guys think about where we're headed in terms of lifestyle now.
Real quick, when you do that, is it they don't charge? Because I know my job, we don't charge sales tax unless we have a presence there. Is it the same thing with Amazon? So if that business,
That's the battle now.
okay.
That Wayfair, there's a whole bunch of different issues. And Amazon, I think they're charging sales tax now, because I remember back like when I was still staying with my dad, they never charged me sales tax, and this is before I started working there, so I didn't give a fuck. So I used to be like, oh, and then like when I really started to understand, they were like battling because they're like, dude, and they're like, we don't have a connection there, like you can't. And I think
Right.
they said the state of South Dakota is going through something now where they created some law. And I think they said Colorado's going to do it now, where they're like, well, fuck it then. If that's the issue, we're gonna make y'all get everybody social, so that they're gonna try to charge the people that's buying it use tax. So that like so you're gonna be taxed, so it's gonna be
Right.
attached to your social, which is interesting. So
Hmm.
it's a battle, like I said, of do we protect the state, or do we protect the local businesses, or do we protect those outside businesses? But now because Amazon has maybe 2 or 3 locations, I think Toma and then Kenosha,
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
Nexus. So
Yeah.
it's interesting just to learn about. So
Yeah.
It's funny that you put this in the pamphlet. Me and my coworker was actually talking about this the other day. She's older. She's probably in her 60s, and she was just talking about we were talking about the Boston store thing, and she brought up, she's like, yeah, with all these online places like Amazon, and I said
stupid.
Yeah, that's how she talked. I don't know what's going
the fuck
on.
up.
Sorry, but oh no, I can't tell nobody at work the name of my podcast. But anyway, no, but we were talking about that, and I said it's true because first Amazon, when it first came out, from what I remember, obviously you can go on there and find good deals for things, but now they've evolved so much. You can get stuff the same day
Right.
delivered to you. You can get groceries delivered to you.
Right.
You can buy stuff in bulk. You no longer have to go to like Sam's Club or anything like that. It's made it so easy for people. Whereas you go to a department store, you have to kind of look
Dig.
around and dig and maybe find a good deal or two here or there. But it kind of, I don't know, like I haven't really evolved into the whole online shopping thing. I will online shop, but for certain things, I don't think I'm there yet when where I'm like, I want my groceries mailed to me, and I'm not judging anyone who does get them, shipped to them or drone to them or whatever, whatever the hell is going on right now.
No,
But,
you're right.
but it does make things easier for those people who, the one, don't have time, to go to
Old.
the store. Yep. Old, can't move, disabled, whatever. Like those people don't have to worry about finding a way to go out into the world and get the things that they need when it can come right to their doorstep.
Yeah.
Which makes it bad for other places, because if people aren't going anywhere to shop anymore, then we're fucked.
Yeah. I think about it like, what are you gonna do with that infrastructure? Like, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be empty infrastructure again, which be growth for opportunity for somebody to step in and create something different. But for me, Boston store. Remember, Grandma would go to the Boston store all the time, and we would go the one in Bayshore or the one in Brookfield. And just go together and look for deals and stuff. Like I said, I get a lot of my cologne from there. And especially when they do the
Christmas
little
gifts.
Christmas gifts, especially when they do the deals, you can get the cologne, the aftershave balm, and
And they put a little watch in the bag.
yeah, put a little watch or a bag. So that's how I got my polo duffel bag. So actually, but them closing, they might be some good deals right now.
I just went yesterday. It's gonna be like them other stores where you gotta wait to the last minute. I think shoes is only 10% off. And
Oh, okay. When they got you.
Like,
But
that
they probably be
ain't
cleared
enough.
out by
If I
then.
would use my rewards card, bitch.
Right. So yeah, but back to Lassie's point, I'm actually surprised. I took an inventory myself this week, and I noticed that I bought a sweater online. I bought 2 books. I bought some hardware for my computer online. I bought a lot of stuff online. I'm like, dang, or damn. I'm too grown. I said dang. Like a little kid, dang.
Say both.
But I lost. I lost. But and all I had to do was just wait 2 days. But I got half the price of it.
Right.
And then, but on top of that, though, I guess like maybe think of Boston store, not Boston store, Best Buy. Best Buy does price matching because that's the way they can try to be competitive against Amazon.
Right.
So, so it's just interesting to see our future. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy because I know you said you use recently Amazon Prime, so you said it was kind of quick, but I'm still kind of leery on that, just a little bit. But
I think
get it in 2 hours.
How about Prime or Prime Now?
Prime Now. I'm sorry, Prime Now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
it's like-
I
I
love
was
it.
gonna say,
Like,
I think
hours?
it's
Like,
it's
God.
convenient.
It's
and
very
like,
convenient.
And even for the price, like don't get me wrong. When I first had Amazon Prime, I think it was like $100 for the year. I don't know what the going rates are
Yeah,
now,
you're right.
but for someone who buys so much stuff online, you're not getting a better deal than that.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
tried to tell my grandma. She was like $100 a year.
Yeah, it was
I was like,
100
no.
a year. It was like 50 if you were a student. I had the student
Yep.
one, but I think I had the like an old credit card on there. I didn't even pay attention. So for like for a minute they weren't. This was a while ago though. For a minute they weren't charging me because they kept update your credit card, but I was still ordering shit with another card, and I was like, oh, okay. And then one time I was like, I was like, damn. But now they have it where you can pay. I think it's month. I forgot I had it. It's like $10 a month. And I love Amazon so much. I got an Amazon credit card, but it's through Chase, and you can use it anywhere, and it comes with rewards too. So and then you get cash back from that as well. So and then the Prime Now works is basically it's kind of, it's not too much stuff on there, but like it's a lot of stuff you just gonna have to go directly through the Amazon website. But what did I think I ordered a hard drive. I just computer stuff. I think I ordered the mic stands from there. And you pick a window. They'll come, and usually they'll drop it off right in between that window. They'll call you. And they'll give you this little paper bag if it can fit in the bag, and that's that. So it's very convenient. And
are the prices a little higher than would you if you were to do the 2-day?
Sometimes,
shipping?
yeah, definitely sometimes, but it's not really too much. But and it's free shipping too. So if I think you buy anything over $35. So
I mean, that's a kicker too. Like free shipping. A lot of sites I don't even go on. Like I'd be kind of upset. Like, damn, I gotta pay $7.99 for the shipping. Like what?
Yeah, you said, bitch, I just ordered $300 worth of stuff and I can't pay.
Right. Or they hit you. They'll hit you like, oh,
Yeah.
you're $25 away from free shipping. It's like I gotta buy another shirt, really.
Yeah, I need it anyway. Come on.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I just think it's interesting just to kind of see, like you guys said, the shift and everything. Because I remember being a kid going to Northridge, and my mom always talked about Yonkers, and
yeah,
then you hear about people talk about shit I ain't never heard of. I'm like, I never heard of that store. Sorry. But a lot of these stores, so they say, been open since 1863, and shit like that. And you'd be like, you see Sears went with that one location, but a lot of them are kind of going. And then the one in Brookfield Square closed down too.
Yep.
They were going through a liquidation. So it's crazy. As I look back, I'd be like, damn, like this shit really knocking them out. Because I even think about, they were kind of still in, but when Blockbuster got knocked the fuck out,
Right.
by Netflix, so everything is like online, and it's just this world. And I even like
get with it.
ASOS, like, because there was one point I was wearing the same size as the model, so I knew what the fuck I was gonna look like. And yep, give me that too. Put that shit in the cart. I'm a little bit thicker than that now, but yeah, put that in the cart. And I ordered that, and then they got
throw that in there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little thicker now.
I
I see you.
know,
I
shit.
see you.
and they got with the free 2-day shipping from the UK. Man, I'd be out there clowning on ASOS. That bitch turn around, yeah, that ain't gonna look right on me. Like it's so much
Yeah.
like access is just, it's crazy because you think like it's access online, like really for clothes, but then you be like, I don't feel like going to the store. Like it's crazy because at first you be like, I'm just gonna go to the store. That's stupid. Now it's like.
Imagine like 20, 30 years from now, like it's going to be a virtual world where you can actually be a virtual store. You can get in there and like try the shit on, and then it's going to be crazy. It's going to be,
I was
it's
gonna
gonna be crazy.
bring up Amazon. I forget what type of store it is. I think they opened it in Seattle because that's where they're headquartered. They have like store locations now. And my coworker, he's in the Navy, so he always goes out there when he does the training. And then he was like, "Yeah, it's bananas." And he was like, I was like, "Wow." So,
Yeah.
and then he was also telling me too about, was it some dude he's working on like underground, like car driving or some shit.
Elon Musk.
In LA, like all the major cities with a lot of traffic. So we were talking about that and how, according to them, it'll create, it wouldn't create, but it would be less accidents because it'll be controlled by the people, like some Wakanda shit. So
Shout out to Elon Musk. I'm trying to get a Tesla.
So yeah, it's interesting where technology is going, and I just wanted to bring that up because I always said we're right in the cusp of the change. We're not we're not prior to, we're not after. I think we're in a good part of the change. We kind of got to see, because I think we were at work one time, where I was at work, and then they're all talking, and they was like, Teresa, do you know what Blockbuster is? I'm like, yeah, bitch, I had tapes. I used to watch Selma. Like,
Right. We know what cassette tapes are. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know what that is. So
Right.
I would think we were in a good part of.
Traxing.
Yeah, we were. We were in a good part of that type of technology.
But yeah, like you make a good point. You said it because we've always been on our age group has always been on the cusp of technology, where like with the internet, you had to do dial up, and then now we got the free form internet, whatever now, and now we're on the cusp of department stores being gone and the rise of internet stores taking over. So, like I said, I can't wait to see what's going to be next. But business owners keep in mind.
My last thought. I can't say that. I can say that I'm actually a little surprised because every time I went to Boston store, I felt like it was hella people in there.
Yeah.
I always like it. Even the one at the Grand.
Yeah.
That one was kind of empty. The Grand kind of empty. But I feel like I always saw people in there, and I know so many people who like. They got the Boston car store and
that
blah,
little
blah,
black
blah.
coupon, that $20 off.
I used to get I got my running shoes from there, but I think they created that stuff to compete. I think to me, because I don't know, because I never really shopped there. I think they were like, you want to get a car, and I used to be like, no, but then I was like, hell, I like this lip liner, so why not? But yeah, and I used to, for me, I used to see people in there, but I used to be like, it's a lot of shit in here. Who actually buys all this
Yeah,
shit?
that
I
is
used to
true,
always
too.
say that, and I used to be like, and where the fuck does this shit go when you don't sell it? Like,
Right.
'cause
Right. Three
you
levels
you
of
got
shit.
a whole store full of shit, men's, women. It's like a lot of shit in there. So I'm like, and it, to me, I never felt like I seen a lot of people. So I'm like, who be buying this shit?
But yeah, that makes a good point
Yeah, old
because
people tired.
people are getting very picky. Like, you know what you want. There's no need
Right.
for me to go in a whole department
Right,
store
unless
to
you're going thrifting.
go upstairs just to go get cologne, like, or
Right.
lip liner, like you said. So that makes points where I can just go online, type in lip liner, and I get exactly what I want, and I'm out. So,
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh,
farewell and rest in peace to the rise and fall of the department store.
don't say Yonkers. I have not seen the Yonkers in so long.
Yeah, my mom, I'm going to Yonkers, like, but I think they got them in certain locations. So
Stephen Berry.
yeah, dude, every time I did at work, I was like, who? So yeah, shout out to Forever in Our
Young
Hearts.
Yonks.
Who's this next person? Lassie Moanje?
Was it Cape Town? I thought it was Cape Town.
No,
Waters.
somebody put the post of Issa Rae.
Oh, I did. I'm looking like what?
Oh, I was gonna say I thought
I took
we
an
was on Cape
inventory.
Town.
You just didn't put the title. I clicked on it. Like, what the fuck is this?
My bad. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because
Pamphlet
I was
didn't
actually
update.
typing in.
I thought I did.
No, I caught it when I'm like, because I almost erased it because you know how I load. I'm hell shit.
Yeah, my bad. So I caught this on Twitter real fast. And I wanted to know if you all wanted to do it with me. She's having a script contest with so Issa Rae presents was her production company, and BET are doing a script screen contest. So just all you need to do is do a page to pitch your thing, your thingy, and if they like it, you get flew out to I think L.A. if I'm not mistaken,
Miami.
Miami, and you get to be in a room, the Black Film Festival, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to be in a room with execs, and get to pitch your idea and talk with them and get some knowledge, and then if it's dope enough, they'll put it in production. So just want to throw that out there for creatives. I was kind of on the fence of sharing this with the pod people in the pod because the less people know, the more less competition it is. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it the opportunity to somebody that has been wanting to get their shit off. So yeah, check it out. And if you haven't checked out Issa Rae's YouTube page, Issa Rae Presents, she does there's a lot of producers and writers under her. Like I said, I've been watching Giants, and I've been blown away with the production of Giants, and their hour finale is going to be next Wednesday. So check it out. It's a lot of great creative people out here, and then just I'm amazed that she's moving it forward. She's allowing other people to come out. Shonda Rhimes does that. Ava DuVernay does that. She hiring a lot of black women to do Brown Sugar and her other projects and stuff like that. So so if you have an opportunity, check it out. It's on Twitter. And I'm gonna definitely try to submit some shit.
Sounds dope.
Yeah.
Doopity dope.
Shout out to cousin Issa.
Cousin East.
Right.
Cousin. Stupid, right? I wanted to talk about Cape Town. I think I brought it up before, and I was gonna bring it up again, but it's interesting. Because me and my coworker were talking about it because he went to South Africa too, a couple years ago. Just they're running out of water.
No.
And day zero was predicted to be this month in April, but they pushed it back to 2019. So now they're like narrowing down how much water, how many liters of water people can use each day.
Wow.
And I think the issue is rainfall, and they get the water from dams and things like that. Because I was talking to my mom about it, and logically you'd be like, they buy some water though.
Right.
And I forget the numbers. Excuse me if I quote them wrong, but I think I remember the roundabout, which is crazy to me. It was like the Earth is made up of what, 75% water.
Yeah. It's about
And people only have access to 2% of water is clean water that people have access to around the world. And that shit was crazy as fuck to me. And I'm like, as I kind of learn about stuff, my understanding is that whoever sells the water, different brands, they get the water from these mountains, like spring water, but they charge people for the shit.
Right.
So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. And I was on Tumblr when I was posting my pictures from Cuba. Somebody wrote me and like, oh, how was it? And I'm like, well, hell, where you from? And she's like, oh, I'm from South Africa. So I'm like, oh, like what part you? I'm like, how's the water? And this was like in February. And she's like, it's more so just Cape Town. And she lives in near Durban, from my understanding. So I recently wrote her. She didn't respond yet because now it seems like it's the whole country that's going through the issue. So now I think I was reading it that people can, I guess just with the calculations, you can take like a 90-second shower. And it's like one of the first major countries that's going to happen to. So I don't know. I guess I just wanted you guys' thoughts on that because I never really heard of that before.
Was some of their you read the article, so I could be off, but was some of I know I believe it was Cape Town. They were talking about, or South Africa as a whole. They were talking about seizing land from white owners, farm
Yeah,
owners, and stuff like that.
the president of South Africa, I think it
Is
was.
is that like part of like to take the resources back? Because you think about it, you mentioned bottling water up. It sounds evil, but if you think about it, if everyone had access to that water, it would be dried up in like a day or two because people.
Yeah, so they're gonna have people regulating that. They
Yeah,
got like
that's what I'm
people
saying.
watching it. So yeah, I mean, but think about it though. Like, I guess I want to say logically, but it could be just everybody for themselves, but
Right.
everybody gonna be trying to tackle that water. But you got to try to ration the shit out for a
Yeah.
whole country, or I don't know if it's just a city. They said also the population grew as well too over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well,
And agriculture as well too. Go ahead.
which is why I say that it's kind of evil, but it makes sense because you figure
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
people
saying.
that the people that can afford the bottled water are going to be the ones that's going to ultimately living and purchasing it. Though for those that can't, they're going to have to die off. And it's kind of like we can't give water to everybody because if we do, it will be gone. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, oh man, it's
Yeah.
sad, but
It's
it
kinda one of
makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I hate to see it happen, but it's interesting to see how the government and people respond to it.
Mhm.
So, from my understanding, at this point, it says, I'm gonna read it. Residents in Cape Town are currently under a level 6B restriction, which means they can only use 50 liters of water per person a day. This water needs to cover all their needs. Water tariffs have also increased in effort to reduce consumption. This 50-liter limit it applies regardless whether the individual is at home, work, or school. It is illegal to use municipal drinking water for irrigation, washing cars, topping off, or filling up swimming pools, for the portable play pools. So it said, what can you do with 50 liters of water? Drinking, 3 liters, 90-second shower,
Wow.
10 liters, 1 toilet flush, 9 liters, pets, 1 liter, food preparation, 1 liter, dishwashing by hand, 9 liters, house cleaning, 5 liters, doing laundry once a week, 10 liters, and teeth and hands, 2 liters. So,
Like Lassie, think about it. Like how many times you been in the shower? You don't have to answer it, but how many times you been in the shower just to be in the shower?
and
Like,
don't get no fuck.
like yeah, just to be like, you know what, or it's cold or it's hot. I
So,
just
bitch,
need
my
to.
water included.
It's it's funny because I was reading an article while I was talking. I was listening, but I was trying to just read up, and I was just thinking like when I got to the part that Reese just read, what can you do in a day with 50 liters? 90-second shower. Now,
Hell no.
3 minutes, like like you just said, like there have been many a times I've been in the shower easily for an hour and 30 minutes.
There's been times where I let that bitch run.
Right.
So let me get in this.
Niggas.
I've been in the shower for a really, really long time. It's saddening to hear because while they have to stay as close to these limits as they can to preserve the water that they have, it just seems really hard to do. I
Right.
even read in here that even the restaurants have gone to paper plates
Yeah, I was just gonna
because
say that, yeah.
they don't, so they don't have to wash the dishes.
dishes.
And it's
Yeah.
like, damn, can you imagine going to a restaurant and they bring you your food on a paper plate?
Mhm.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean-
but if you in it, then you live in it.
Well, true.
Because I even seen, I think she moved to Switzerland. One young woman that I've been following for like years before we even went. She was she pictured it's so bad that my mind saw this, but it reminded me of when they take a picture of the white bubbler and the black people bubbler. But she took a picture of a water bubbler on some, you can't use this. And there was another one like in the bathroom. It says, please use the hand sanitizer. You can't wash your hands.
Damn.
Like that shit is scary.
Crazy.
And
Yeah.
they said that people will be fined if they try to use the water, like shit like that. So it's
Right.
kind of like and it's interesting how they push it out. Like it was pushed back to April of this year, then it's pushed back to 2019.
Right.
Damn, we use water for so much shit. Like just to wash our hands. Like we wash our hands and throw that water's thrown away.
And let me tell you, I'm so
Wow.
picky when it comes to my hand washing. I wash my hands at least 3 to 4 times in one time. I have to, like, when it comes to my hands, I am so particular about them. So like I wash my hands at least 3 to 4 times, and people be like, that's a lot, but that's just what I need. Like that's just how I feel good. So I definitely think like man.
That's crazy. That now I'm just sitting back and just thinking about what we use water for. Like, we use water to play. Like we
Yeah.
super soakers throwing shit, pool.
And that's why I said it's pictures online. You can
Wow.
look it up. It's empty pools. And I guess I bring this article up because I know we talk about different things in life, and it's like I guess like Mwan just said, it's like now sit here and think about how much water you use, and if that was you, or this country, and people be out here fighting and shooting.
Right.
Yeah, I think they even said in here people are even, like trying to drill in their backyard. And
Yep.
they even said that they're doing that. The government is drilling, trying to bring the water in, and I don't know, especially a place too where population is growing.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like, damn, I just moved here.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked up too.
Yeah, that's dang, I had a thought in my
And
head.
just to throw this in there too, Flint, Michigan still needs clean water. By the
Yeah.
way, I don't want to leave that out.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to Wabio Cody. He actually told me that it's been going on longer than we knew. And
Yep.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
I had no idea. And I was like, dang, like that's really messed up. But
Yeah, I listened to an episode of Brilliant Idiots, and there's an author on there. I forgot. I think her name was Ashley Coleman, if I'm not mistaken, and she's from Flint, and her husband is from Flint as well. They do the books. Fuck, what's the name of those books? Damn, it's the urban fiction. Damn, what's the name of those books? But anyway, they were saying like, you know, they grew up in Flint and stuff like that, and even though they're outside of Flint, their family still lives in Flint, and it's like, she said that, you know, her mother, like, it's actually a vacation for her to come from Flint to her home so they can
Yeah.
wash dishes, wash clothes, and take a nice shower and drink, and you know, this, that, and the other. And I was like, wow. You know, she actually said, you know, why don't you just move your mom in? And she we asked to do that, but she loves Flint. She loves the place that she grew up there. She raised us there, this, that, and the other. So, yeah. So yeah, I forgot to do something. I gotta do something
yeah.
over there. And that's sick. That's sick.
Yeah, I think they said, I guess when they realized when somebody was like, when would they realize when day zero is? And I think they're just going back to Cape Town. And I think they said whatever level the dam water gets to, that's when they're going to
Wow.
when they're really going, I think they're going to cut it in half to 25 liters. So
Wow.
Jesus.
it's like one of those weird things at the top. You'd be like, why?
Mhm.
So I guess I pose this. Anybody that's listening, anybody into water economics, things of that nature, let us know. Educate us on some more information about that, because or agriculture or whatever, rainfall, because I find it very, very interesting. So
Yeah. With global warming, things are being warmer
yeah,
and being
more
cold.
people.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So random shit of the week.
Random.
So I just wanted to talk about the state of R&B music, the state.
Mm.
And I asked this because I don't know, I was listening to Maya's new album, and I
Mhm.
went back and I realized that she had a whole bunch of other albums, and she was independent since I think '07 or something. And the last two were, to me, I really liked them. So I was
Mhm.
like, well, goddamn, and it was like a lot of songs. I said, this shit could be played on the radio, and I never really heard it. But a lot of it, she gives you that like real raw R&B feeling of like the '90s and things like that. So I just wanted to ask you guys, well, like, what have you guys listened to anything that you consider like R&B, like really R&B, like not like pop, just like R&B?
I got to check out some of Maya's album because of you and a couple other people on my Facebook friends list were talking about it too, and I like Maya, and I kind of feel like you because I seen you had posted her one of her older albums. I think it was in Egos, and I was like, dang. I was like, she had music in 2016, and
Oh yeah, and it came out around the same time of Auntie Rihanna. And you would never know that.
right
And
now,
I'm to be honest, I kind of like that one better than her new one. Like she got some bangers, like some shit that could be played on the radio, and I'm like, why the fuck? But I know she's been independent, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like I'm going through a lot of my new music, and I don't know. I don't know if I would. Maybe Tink. You listen to Tink?
Mhm.
Would you consider her R&B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
listened to a little bit of hers.
I
Her little EP, was it EP?
Yeah, EP.
Yeah.
I think the state of R&B is in a great place. I think it's revolutionized. It's you got alternative R&B, you got the pop R&B as you mentioned, and then you got your basic R&B.
What's basic R&B to you?
Or classic R&B where you got your Vance, or you got your
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige, and you got your soul music and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of branches of R&B.
I think a lot of people cross over. So
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about basic, but yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say basic, but there's a certain sound where you can tell, like say for instance with Tyrese, and he did Stay, not Stay. What's the other one he did? Not Stay. What's the other one?
Yeah,
He did
I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of the name of it, but that you can tell that because the way the sound, because typically with the live instrumentation, this, that, and the other, whereas opposed to like with alternative R&B, you got more of either a trappier sound, or it's always a dark mellow sound like you hear from The Weeknd, as opposed to listen to Weeknd first shit and then listen to Starboy. You can tell there's definitely a difference.
Well, yeah, I think Starboy is definitely more pop.
Exactly.
It's not
exactly.
R&B at all.
Exactly. So when you you can kind of get a difference of what R&B is, but I think it's in a great state. I think it's a great state. Like with Maya, I think you were alluding to that as well. Like, why her 2006 shit really hasn't been on the radio is because she's
2016.
independent. 2016, because she independent, and a lot of times you don't have
The marketing and everything.
the marketing, the funds to actually
Yeah.
be on the radio.
Yeah, she got a new song with I think Gold Link is on her album. And yeah, the one from 2016 I really like. Like I was listening, like I didn't skip a song, and I was like, it's really sad because it's like how some
Yeah.
people be independent, you be like, okay, whatever. But a lot of her shit, I was like, God damn, she got some good songs. Like this shit was crazy to me. But I
She
don't know.
was just taking a break.
Yeah, and then I was watching something and she was like, I see, and she's got that smooth. I think, and it was funny because I commented on her post like, can we be best friends? Because she also a vegan, and I got like a lot of recipes. I'm gonna send y'all the link. Like she got like a lot of she got a whole list of shit, and I'm like, God damn, I feel bad. But then she got links to other websites with recipes and shit like that. But I commented like, hey, whatever, let album. Can you come on my podcast and talk about veganism? And she just liked the post. She ain't coming back though. But still,
Right, come
that
through.
count for something. We want to learn.
Come through, Lex.
But she just seems so peaceful and just some people you see them, they look a little bit rough, and she just looked like she just enjoying her little life.
Right.
And
Making her little
she
music.
said something like, somebody came up to me and they was like, oh, I didn't know. She's like, I haven't, you haven't heard from you in a minute. She's like, but I still have albums though. And she was laughing it off. Like you just tell she's very peaceful. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to her, and then just like I said, just kind of see what else you guys had up your sleeve in regards to R&B.
I'm taking, as I told you, I'm taking the intro to music business class, and it is really, really insightful. Like it is really, really insightful. So my computer took a tumble. I only took the first lesson. I got until May 27th to finish the class, but I've learned a lot about the business just from that first lesson. Like it's really 3 major music companies, and then of course you got your other ones, subsidiaries and stuff like that, like Cash Monies and all that stuff.
Yeah, behind it.
That business is crazy.
That's why it's always cool to see how they work out those deals like Cash Money, where they was like, no, nigga, I ain't selling my shit unless you give me a nice portion of it. And even if when you just hear people talk about just their experience, because Maya mentioned something about how her first 3 albums were like real studio, if you will, albums. And she's just like, compared to making this, penny to whatever, I'm making my own. You putting your own money out, and it's a lot of work. But
Right.
And I think she had an issue. I think she said the record label released Liberation. The one, remember she had the song with Lil Wayne? I forget the name of the song. Came out in like 2007, but they released her album in Japan or something, and she was kind of like, what the fuck? Or leaked it or whatever. So she was going to sue him or some shit, and her attorney was like, just... Yeah.
Way to go.
And then she said, and she got her Planet 9. So I just think it's interesting, like just like how it works. Like you got some fire ass songs, and this shit is not on the radio.
But
like not.
The first lesson I taught, like the guy that's teaching, his name is John Callock. I want to say, like I said, he's a vocalist from Cameo, and he became a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer, and he was saying that, where was I going with that? What'd you say? What's the last thing you just said?
She got some fire ass songs, and it's not on the radio.
Oh yeah, there. Thanks. I needed that. He was saying that a lot of people get into it, and are very creative, but don't understand the business. And the business is it's about the same or even more important than actually being creative, and that's why it's good to have a good team around you, like Chance. That's why Chance is so successful. I'm pretty sure he has a great team around him where he just need to focus on being creative, and of course he do the business as well too, but he has people that can handle that, so he can be, because if you're super creative and then you got to be business too, and it's very difficult to do that. To be business and creative. It can be done, but it's very difficult.
Yeah, I think he set another standard though to independence. And I think a lot of people are really, really considering that more after seeing his success with it.
I don't think he's really independent, but that's just my theory.
Well, I mean, I'm saying just hearing him, even if he's not, just for him to be like, I'm independent and this is what I'm doing. I think I see a lot of people really coming out with that or like respecting that more.
Yeah, it's a trend because it's a marketing ploy. Because you would want to celebrate an artist that's independent and not with a really major, but low key they're really signed to a major. Because how are their projects able to be sent over to Japan or other places?
Yeah, that's true too.
It takes a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, because you can sometimes, like I think hers, I don't even know if she's with somebody, because like some of her older albums would just say who she was with, and now this one says Planet 9 and MGM.
Yeah, that's one of the major
so
music
you can
groups.
and I think she was working with somebody else too, and they were like heavily promoting her song and album too. So Yeah.
Yeah. I think the three majors are Sony, Universal,
Mm-hmm.
and fuck, what's the third one? I forgot the name of it.
It's a lot of little random ones.
Yeah,
Capitol,
yeah, that's under Sony.
little circle building in
Mhm.
LA.
Oh, I need to
You
just
said
see. I want to
Motown.
go
Just
out
like,
there.
no, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Motown was independent.
yeah, I know I was joking. But yeah, it's or Def Jam.
Def Jam is
They're
under
Universal.
Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Universal.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
somebody just bought Capital, and I forgot the name
Yeah.
of the group.
Shout
But
out
it's
to
crazy. It's crazy.
R&B
It's so fun
music
too.
and
I get
I don't know.
excited.
It's kind of like the whole thing with the department store and everything. It's interesting to kind of see
Mhm.
everything go away, come back, evolve, and I think she even remixed one of her own songs. I thought it was interesting.
Right.
She got like a lot
Yeah.
of really good production too.
I
Like,
love music.
it just makes me go wow. Like
Shit makes me so.
like-
I get so excited when you talk about music.
like I don't know. Interesting.
I
Interesting.
get so excited when you talk about music. I love it. That shit is
Yeah.
incredible to me. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
just my
Shout out to them.
Gemini side.
Another one of my weekly revelations here. I think I was brushing my teeth.
Oh.
And I was
How much water
just-
did you use?
Good question. I don't know. I probably had that shit running for 20 minutes. And oh shit, the water running. And that's bad. Now that I think about that too, it's bad. Like that's what.
I will have the shower and my water
Yes,
running. That's
flush the toilet, be back. Like just do a lot of
Really?
random shit.
I don't know. I turn the water off when I brush my teeth. I'm trying to get my boyfriend to do it.
I
'cause
tried to.
No.
He run the water. While
My
he do
dad
it.
used to do that. He used to make me spit my water in the toilet, and I used to hate that. Or my spit my toothpaste. I'm like, it's just
I
weird.
used to do
standing
that
up
too,
to
yeah.
He used to be like, I'm like, I don't like doing that. But yeah, and I think he had his own theories, but I'll leave that to him. But anyway, the question that I had here for you guys,
Mhm.
and because I like to consider myself, I think that I am mentally strong.
Okay.
And I sat there and I think about this sometimes randomly, and I said, "Why am I that way?" And I think I had a conversation with somebody in the past too, and I always felt like playing sports made me mentally strong. And the sport that I played was basketball, and I think about some of the rigorous things I went through with the coach and people dead in your face, and you tired as hell. And I never forget my coach always told me, it's all in your mind. So like, and that actually really helped me when I played. Like we be in practice, he be killing us. And I'll work out and do some rigorous shit now. As soon as they be like, you can take a break, I drop my ass to the floor. I'm like, yep. And then back then you could never do that. And I think about him just really being like, it's all in your mind, and it's really how you do train your mind. So now that I do anything that's kind of rigorous, or sometimes you be tired or you don't want to, I really understand how shit really do be how your mind influences you. So I guess I want to ask you guys, do you think you guys are mentally strong? And, if so, what do you think helped you kind of be that way? And it could be towards just anything that kind of comes at you.
I see.
Sometimes I think I am. I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. And that's just me. I mean, on top of me feeling like though sometimes I am. On the other hand, I do deal with my mental illnesses, but I think like in the moments where I feel like I really am, I'm trying to think because I just had my little example in my head and now it's gone. I don't know. I think just going through some of the stuff that I went through, just sometimes when you go through stuff, and like you said, sometimes it be all in your head, or even I can't think of the quote word for word that Will Smith said, but he has a couple of quotes, or maybe it's one quote that he just says a lot in references to being afraid and fear and things like that. And sometimes when I'm really feeling like mentally weak, I kind of just tell that to myself, and I'm like, it's all in your mind. Like, fear doesn't exist. I think he said something like that. So fear doesn't exist. Fear is not real. You making up this fear in your head, which is stopping you from doing what you want to do, what you need to do. And sometimes it work, and sometimes I just be like, But when it do work, that's something that kind of pushes me and makes me feel like, okay, you can do this. Get your shit together. Do what you need to do, and don't hold yourself back. So yeah, I would say sometimes. I mean, I think everybody has their moments, but
Yeah. I think for where I am right now, I think there's some more that could be tapped into more potentially, because I haven't gone through anything super duper traumatic that would test my mental prowess. But I think for me, where I got my mental toughness from was actually school. I think working a full-time job, even to a certain degree, being in a relationship, and then going to school, all that all that stuff, and then staying up late at night, but then have to go to work and this, that, and the other. I think all that it created a toughness where it's like I got to get this done. If I don't do this, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna drop out of this course, and all the money that I use is wasted.
Yeah.
Also, and trying to find money to stay in class. So, anytime I'm at work and something got to get done and it's stressful, that I go back to those times where I'm like, damn, I was in school late at night, up early in the morning, getting this work done. I can definitely get this little project done within the time frame that I need. And for the most part, it helps. So, but as far as playing sports, I can definitely understand and see
Yeah.
how sports can help shape your
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah, that always stuck with me because like anything I do, like I gotta be tired, and I'd be like, it's all like I would just see him because Coach Toto was what little dude, small. He's probably like 5'4". He's a little dude, but he used to have hops out of this world. He was in the military, so when we ran stairs, when we wasn't doing, I remember one time he made us run around the block in the rain. Came back, he'd be like, we had some rigorous practices, and you'd be tired, and he'd be so calm. You know, you see these people like really struggling, and you sometimes you'd be like, all right, you can take a break. It's all in your mind, and I feel like I was in therapy, like, and I would sit there and talk to my mind, and be like, it's just shut up, you ain't tired, and that shit really works. So I used to be like, damn. So anytime I do, like you just mentioned, I used to go to school and think about some of the shit. You'd be like, damn, I really don't feel like it. There's no way I can get this done. It's all in your mind. So for me, I just want to ask you guys. I thought about it, like, damn, why am I this way?
You know, it's so funny though. A lot of players, like I said, I'm finishing up Michael Bennett's book, and he was talking about he has daughters, but he said if he had a son, he wouldn't want his son to play football, of course, for the reasons. But
Yeah.
I think about that, and it's kind of like you got your mental toughness from football and doing the things you had to do, but you know, why wouldn't you let your son try to get that same thing? And I, of course, like I said, with all the injuries and stuff going on like that. But like I said, it's funny that you said with sports, you got your toughness. And was there any apprehension from your family that didn't want you to not play anything or play basketball, or fear of like injuries and stuff like that?
No, only my mom when she would come to the game, and not to be funny, but she didn't come to a lot. But she would see me like, you know, just going after, like, I think at one time you know how the ball going out of bounds, you tap it in and you fall hard, and she like at the end of the game, you kind of was going a little too hard. I'm like, that's how you play basketball. I
Right.
can't be just, oop, there you go. Like, you got to play with my dad. Yeah, you got to play rough, you know, shit like that. And my dad, he would actually come out like practice, and he would sit there sometimes because a lot of families would come in, and then where we practiced at, it was like a gym, then it was like a stage there next to us, so people would sit up there, and I'd be like, you know, you can go do what you want to do, and he would like want to be there. So that's what I appreciated him for, and he was cool. The coach was cool. It was a good experience for me. A lot of times, you know, when you lose, all that shit come with life, losing and winning, but just the experience itself to me is one that I would never want to give back, because that really helped me just with life in general.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I
thank you,
remember my sister would play basketball, and we go there, and they'd be losing, but I'd be telling my sister, I'd be like, man, dig in, explode. People be
Yeah.
laughing. I'm like, no, tap into something. You need to tap into something and go in. And I remember
Yeah.
one of the coaches looked back at me and my pops and my brother, and they was like, y'all want to coach next year? I'm like,
But you know, and sometimes what's interesting about sports, it don't be for people, because I remember I used to go see my niece play. You know, I think sometimes kids do
Yeah.
stuff because they're friends, and some of her friends were playing, and she was just the laziest. Sorry if you ever listen. She was the laziest little kid ever. So I remember my sister, she was just like, and my sister played basketball too, but I don't think she was like, I think she's probably lazy like my niece. Sorry. But you know, and it's like funny because you try to like hold in what you want to say
Right.
without, and I'm just like, no. Like one time she was walking up, she holding, I'm like, what are you doing? So my sister, like, she's screaming her nickname, and she used to be so funny, and I'm like, Lord Jesus, help us all.
But that's one of the things kind of hindered me with my pops. Like, he played ball, and he played for Cudahy. And he was, you know, he was,
Cudahy,
yeah, he played for Cudahy. He
So
went to-
random.
Yeah, he went to Cudahy.
That's so
it
I was
is.
expecting to hear Riverside.
No. He went to
Not Riverside, just an MPS school, somewhere up here.
Yeah, he went to Cudahy. I think he was in Madison. No, was he in Madison for a little bit? Then he went to Cudahy. I
That's
think he
so
went to
random.
Cudahy. Anyway, and I would go downstairs and see some of the basketball clips. And it's like 26 points this game, 30 points this game, and he loved playing ball. So when I was playing ball, he was like, this on the elementary level. This is when you just learn how to play the game.
Right.
He was like, you know, it'd be like so much like, man, I don't want to play this, man. I just want to have fun. I thought I have fun. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even. But he was so into the game, and it's kind of like. But now looking back, I'm like, okay, had I like kind of dug in and
His
actually
past.
and you know do what I needed to do, man, I got my little participation trophy. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's funny
A little
because
gold medal.
my dad just gave me, he cleaned up a whole bunch of stuff because he moved, so he dug up all this stuff. I remember when I packed it up and put it in the basement too. All these trophies, I found like plenty little gold. I got plenty gold medals. I used to like worship that shit, and I used to be like, damn, I just packed it up and threw it away. But I put it in my mom's garage though. But yeah, it's
Get
just,
the little shit.
yeah, I'm gonna still keep it, but it's
Okay.
in there because I ain't finna hang this shit up here, so I'm gonna just keep it for whatever in the future. Show
I
my
thought you
kids or
said you
some
was gonna
shit.
throw it away.
No, I said I threw it down there like whatever.
Oh, got you. Okay. I thought you
Because
said-
I feel like I was growing up, because I had the shit displayed. Like
Oh.
I had like a little display area and shit. Like found this from the 3rd grade. You can take it down now. But damn, what was I finna say?
I may be athlete.
I was gonna say my dad. Yeah, see, that's the thing I liked about my dad, because he was never that dude to embarrass you. 'Cause sometimes you hear him, Teresa. But some of the other dads, like
Girl.
I remember we played
pop.
some game. Oh yeah, one of my teammates, her dad, like we'd be losing or some getting our ass buzzed. So we played that intense game against Vincent or some shit. And my dad used to have me cracking up. He was like, dude, what such and such is out there spitting on everybody. So one time we were playing and then we were losing and shit. He up there like, you know you can play better than that. Like he'll say her name first. You know you can play better than that. My dad. So we be out there like, dude, like.
Leave her alone.
And then my one friend, never forget Jolene. One time she got in trouble for I think she cussed at the coach or the ref or something, and her dad happened to be at that game, so she still mouthing off. Her dad was in the military, so he like, Jolene, shh. So my dad always do that shit. I'm like, dude, you petty. Like, you remember shit? Cause he's shh. I'm like, you petty, dude. Like, the shit was so funny. And he was like, dang, I hurt you. I hope you didn't get snapped up. I'm like, you was hilarious. He was like, oh. And then when my sister started coming to my game, so you know, my sister, she talked about she be piecing people. He's like, I had to tell Lisa, like, you can't be talking about people because people kids be out there. So, like, just for me, honestly, I can't wait to go to like my kids' game because the whole ambiance is just like fun as fuck. Like, it's just fun. So that's
my
why
son number 3.
that's why I appreciate my dad coming to like games and stuff like that. Like that stuff is really important to kids, and just seeing them in the stand, knowing where they're gonna be when they go. He gonna be there when he say he gonna be there. I guess for me, all that builds up. And my last thing, I never forget, when I first got to high school, we played Oak Creek. I was on JV. We got our asses bust, and we walked to the car, and my dad had this baby blue Cadillac, and I started crying. And he looked at me. He was like, "You better not be crying. Don't be." I don't know if he said don't be crying in public or don't be crying. I don't some don't cry because it's not good. Don't be cry. It was like don't cry because. You know what I'm saying? It's just a game, and be stronger than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You better come out the next game, but you know what I'm saying? Pipe it up. So
Pipe it up.
Shout out to sports.
yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to get you guys' opinion and thoughts on I guess being mentally strong and kind of what got you guys there. So yeah. Mwanja, you want to tell us a story or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you real quick. So last night, we my friend
last night.
last night. Didn't even get an answer.
That's my shit.
Try to go.
Feeling like a child. Don't you want to? I remember they showed when Kishiko had her show. They showed her actually doing that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's a Diddy.
Dirty. I miss Dirty Money. Dirty Money was good.
Yeah, he was in the video. She came to the studio or something, right?
Yeah, she was in the studio.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
I
It was
think
Keisha
Dawn
Cole's show.
Yeah, it was her show. I think.
Oh.
Yeah. No, not Dirty Money. We was talking about Keisha Cole
Yeah.
when
Oh.
she recorded this song.
Yeah, they met up or something.
Yeah.
I think she was recording it. Yeah.
Hmm. That's when those shows was kind of.
This was one of the weirdest songs ever. But as I got older, I'm like,
You like. Kinda like people like
Right.
was fooling not fooling but trashing press play, but it was
Yeah,
press
I think-
stop and all that stuff.
yeah,
like,
there was. I remember
It
them
wasn't
days.
that bad. It was not. You
I
look
like
back.
the little cover. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad. You know, we know Diddy's not a rapper.
Yeah.
But Dirty Money was good too.
Just the whole video.
Yep.
Yeah. So shout out to
And Diddy be trying to do. But so the story. So we after leaving festivities from Jefferson Street, we go to Oakland Euros. And if you ever been in Oakland Euros, you know it's packed around that 2:00, 2:30 time frame a.m.
I was gonna say in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. So I'm waiting to get my line. It's about 4 of us. No, actually 5 of us. And 5. And my guy Eron goes to the bathroom, and while he was going there, someone comes out and said, "Hey man, the dude that's in there, he tried to touch my dick." I was like, "Whoa,
Huh?
okay." So I didn't hear the tape. So he Eron's like, "Whoa," and so I guess the guy was coming out as Eron was coming in. So Eron got his food or whatever, and he sat down. I was waiting to get my food. So that's when he told me the story. So the guy that got his dick touched was like, if you've ever been to Oakland Euros, it's the seating where the window is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we sat at, and then there's like that middle portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the middle portion. So the guy that got his dick touched was like 2 feet away from
Sounds
us.
so weird.
It is 2 feet from us, and then the guy that touched his dick was like right there in the middle with his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So he's over there talking to his girlfriend, whatever. So the guy was like he was looking like, what the fuck? Like somebody just touched my dick. So the nigga, I mean the guy, he wasn't a nigga, but the man pulled up a chair and like was talking to him like calmly as fuck. Like, so why did you? Like he said, why did you do it? I was like, huh? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
So then the guy was like, so the guy that touched his dick was like, man, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. Like, I just broke up with my girlfriend. This, that, and that.
These
I'm
two
like,
white dudes.
no, the guy that touched it was black. He's kind of heavier set black guy. He looked he looked like he was not confident with himself. He does like, he was kind of sloppy, whatever. And, but he was there with a white girl. And
So the black dude touched the white dude dick.
touched the white dude's dick. So if you ever been in the men's bathroom,
Pretty
there's a
peculiar.
stall there, and I guess in certain bathrooms though, which I don't like, there's the stall is kind of next to the sink, so your dick is out, and someone could be there washing their hands. So I don't know how he did it. I guess he just
Hell,
reached
the
to
girls'
grab.
bathroom is worse. But go ahead.
Is it? Like,
I've never been in that bathroom.
I've never been in the women's bathroom in there, but yeah. So I'm like, so he had this conversation, whatever, and so I guess I don't know what was said. I'm thinking it's about to be a fight, and it wasn't no fight. He just calmly told him like, don't do that no more. I was like, oh, and then the guy just walked off with the girl that he was still. I don't know if that was his girlfriend, if they just broke up or what the case may be, but they walk off and it was gone. So we sitting here like, what the fuck? So Eron egging it on. We just cracking up laughing, and then so the guy come over and I guess
That
Eron.
Bohemian pest.
Right. So he called the guy. He was like, hey man, did the dude look? My dick is the microphone is not turned on.
That's true.
He said,
Lassie's stupid. Nothing.
you know what, y'all terrible. I'm gonna hit back and listen. I got him on my phone.
Eating pussy. Anyway, proceed.
Anyway,
Get it out.
and so the guy proceeds to say like, yeah, I'm whipping my shit out, and the guy just come over and just touched my dick, and I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, okay. So he goes sit back down. I'm looking at Eron like, this shit is weird as fuck. So I said that would have been me. If he would try to touch my dick, I would have been yelling.
Did he try or did he do it?
No, he did. He touched it. I thought he tried, and he didn't. Eron told me he did touch it.
Not to your
He
hand?
did touch his dick.
Was it like this or was it like?
I don't know what he said. He said it was like he like reached out
Was
and
it like this?
I don't know if it was a grab, but I think he reached out and like.
What'd she say? Ooh, the second one.
So I'm like, if it was me, everybody in that motherfucking restaurant would have known that this man touched my dick. I would have been like, he touched my wee wee.
We got a missed call from Stacy.
Oh, I told her to call on the break. She did. She actually did.
Hello?
Hey, Stacy, it's YBO calling you back.
Huh?
Bitch, you know you just called. It's YBO.
Why you gotta call her a bitch? Leave her alone.
That's
Don't
how we
call her a
talk.
bitch.
Hey, girl. You can't call her that. Mwanje,
Hey,
so Mwanje, you got time to talk? You still at work?
I'm still at work, yeah.
Well, listen to what Mwanje saying real quick and tell us what you think. Go ahead, Mwanje.
Yeah.
You listening?
Real talk. Long story short. What happened?
Go ahead.
I can't hear nothing. Oh, y'all messing with my mic and my headset.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
can't hear nothing. I can't hear nothing she's saying though. There we go. Thanks. Long story short.
Stacy, you listening?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
So this guy was in the bathroom and another guy was in the bathroom, and while the other guy was getting ready to wash his
At
hands
Oakland Euros.
at Oakland Euros, he reached out and grabbed this man's dick in the bathroom.
She can't.
And he said,
tell her shit like that.
and the reason why he did it was because he said he broke up with his girlfriend. So I don't know what the question to pose. Like I don't even know where to
You
go.
should see Lassie's face. She was like, eh.
Like I don't even know where to go. But has it ever happened in the
Is
women's
this like
bathroom?
Fake news? This really happened?
This happened last night.
She
I
said
was
fake
there.
news.
I was there, not in the bathroom, but I was there. And the guy was telling us the story, and one of my guys was there too, and he was like, "Yo, Eron."
She know Eron?
Eron was like, "Yo, this guy walked out the bathroom, told me that somebody's in the bathroom touching dicks." So it's like, I was like, "How you in the bathroom just washing your hands?" Like, "Hey, bro, just so you know, niggas touching dicks in here." What? I just don't know. I don't
I
know.
gotta go back to work.
I don't know. But has it ever happened like in a women's bathroom? Like, have you ever? I don't even know how that could
You ever
happen.
seen some weird shit in the women's bathroom?
Yeah.
No.
There you go. No, you never. No weird shit.
Ew.
Never weird shit happened in your
No.
bathrooms. Bro?
No, women's bathrooms are
I
full
mean,
of love.
I've seen some weird stuff happen, but like.
Like
not
what?
in
like
one
somebody threw a
situation.
tampon over the
That's
the
nasty.
stall.
That's just nasty. Then she getting her ass whooped for
I
real.
was finishing up. I was washing my hands, and this lady walked in, and she strips like completely naked. Like you see all her clothes on the floor,
The shit.
and then she starts like pooping and making noises. Like she's like,
Wait, where was you at?
Was she inside the stall or she took her
This
clothes
is
off
at the
then?
airport.
Was she in?
Oh, wow.
Did she walk in and take her clothes off inside the stall, or did she take her shit off and then go in the stall?
She was in. She was in the stall. She got in the stall, and then she took all her clothes off.
I thought this was some.
You walked
Okay,
in like,
I thought this was some YMCA shit. You know, the white people be around sagging and shit. You like, oh
Oh.
god, cover up, bitch, cover up. Interesting.
Oh man, no! I just wanted to throw that out there. That really disturbed me. But like I said, for me, I'm saying this man touched my wee wee, and there was an officer in there. Like I don't want. I feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna scream. I want to yell. I'm gonna. I'm gonna make sure that this man goes
First
to
of all,
jail.
he would have got punched.
I mean, but I would feel so violent. Like, how I don't know. Like, how do you punch a guy that likes to be touched? Like to touch men? Like, I don't get it. I don't know if pain would do it. I think he needs to be registered as a sex offender. He's a pedophile.
We would have fought. Then I would have snitched. I don't know.
He's a
And
pedophile.
he was black, by the way, right? Did you
He was
feel that
black.
part?
He was black. He was kind of
That's
black.
peculiar, right?
Like I said, he was black and he was touching a white guy's dick.
That's kind of.
I don't know.
So that ain't gonna happen to me, okay?
So what if your man came home and said, "Hey, this man tried to touch my dick in the stalls in the bathroom"? Like, what would you?
Wait, knowing Stacey, I'm like, well, what did you do? That's what she-
What if he said, I didn't know what to do"?
Did you like it? Look
What if he was there and he was at the restaurant and he came out and said, "Babe, so this man touched my dick"?
we would have jumped him.
And
Love
don't you
it.
be touching what was mine.
I said, I was like, damn, I would have been like, you are a boy, Damien. Like, what's going on?
Uh-uh.
I'm like, come on now.
That's
But yeah,
gross. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm scared
couldn't
now to go
say.
to bathrooms. Now I'm just gonna pee in.
That's the moral of the
bathroom.
story. You stupid.
All I'm saying is, I would have said that the man touched my wee wee, and I don't.
The man touching my wee wee.
I don't.
What
I
is
feel
you,
very
4?
uncomfortable. I feel very uncomfortable. I will make it very pedophilish. It will be very pedophilish. But Stacey, thank you so much for calling in,
Yeah.
Stace. I appreciate you.
We'll see you in a couple hours or so.
Oh yeah, quick question. It ain't no. I'll text you.
You can ask on the podcast, Stace. We're all friends here.
Text me.
All right, bye.
Bye, girl.
She already knew.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to
So
Stacey. That's
yeah,
funny.
just want to throw that story out there. That was very
Random.
random, and fellas, watch your dicks.
All right,
Pause.
Lassie, dating in relationships.
Yeah, that's weird.
Very much so.
So I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with Blackish, but
Yes.
before I get to
Yeah.
before I get to the episode, so I'm scrolling Instagram
Scrolling.
yesterday morning, and I saw like in 2 weeks Blackish. Now I didn't have the sound on because my boyfriend was asleep, but I'm like looking at it, and it just looked so sad and heartbreaking. So I played it with the sound on, and I was like, "What the hell is going on
Mhm.
here?" But so even he was like, "What are they doing?"
Right.
He thought I was joking. I was like, "They trying to end Blackish."
Mm.
But so for those who haven't been caught up, sorry, spoiler alert. So on the most recent episode of Blackish, Dre and Bo are just. He talks about how every couple years they get into a funk and. You know, they not really seeing eye to eye. Yeah, they arguing a lot. And a lot of the arguing was about, to me, was about their baby, Devontae, not being able to walk, and no one was really listening to each other. And they went to counseling, and
Date night.
then they had a date night, and then they tried to schedule sex, which didn't work either.
It's a fail.
All in all, Devontae ended up walking at the end of the show. Jay was worried because it was, you know, he was turning 1, and he's like, the rest of the kids was walking by now. And Bo was like, it's perfectly fine. He
I'm a
came
doctor.
early, and I'm a doctor, blah, 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 blah. But then after he walked, you know, Bo decided, she said, I'm relieved. And Dre got mad because he was like, you let me worry about this by myself, blah, blah, blah. And it that part made me think about when you said that people cope differently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we both worrying our heads off, what's that gonna do?
Right.
I feel like this: babies do stuff when they want to. People do stuff when they want to. I don't think.
And in a sense, that's what she was saying, but she was still worried as a mom.
Right. But what I really wanted to ask y'all, when it comes to dating relationships, would you be willing to get outside help when problems occur in your marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yep.
just a little bit on the episode. I think it's very interesting. I think it's dope that Tracy Ellis Ross is directing that. I think this little series of Blackish. I think the
Different issues.
relationship, yeah, the relationship series. But yeah, I think definitely you have to, because think about it. Say for instance, you got married at 20.
Right.
Every about 5 to 10 years, you're a different person. You're growing. You should be growing. So you now have to figure out with that person that you're living with. You now have to figure out what new person they are, and sometimes you're not ready and prepared to do that. So you probably need some help to understand that person and be more patient and yeah, I think you need some help. You definitely need some outside help. Whether I don't know whatever source you go to, but definitely need some help that's professional and even if it's not professional, someone that has a lot of experience and you can't go to your wisdom. You can't go to like your single friends like, yo, she, hey bro, just
Right.
leave her. Hey, I got some girl, we finna go out, man. Let's go. You can't do that. You're married.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to talk to somebody that has like an unbiased opinion.
Mhm.
'Cause I think sometimes you may get in situations where like Bo and what's his damn name? Oh shit,
Dre.
on the show, where they go back and forth, and nobody's really listening to each other, and she's just stuck in what her coping mechanism is, and he's just kind of outlandish with his, like, well, I want him to walk. So I think when they did go to counseling, it was like, oh yeah, date night, and I think that kind of did help, and I don't think it really went anywhere after that. It kind of ended like on a
Yeah.
somber note. But yeah, I definitely say the outside opinion helps, and then some people go to their pastor, some people go to marriage counseling, older couples that have been married for years. Just for me, I think it offers that outside perspective, because it's a way for you. And even if you go by yourself, I think of it as if you talk to somebody about whatever your problem is, they may be like tired of you talking about it, or they know your story and may not see it the same way. But if you talk to a therapist or somebody you don't know, they're giving you other ways to go about it, and coping mechanisms. And I think if you put two people together, like Wanda said, every 5 to 10 years you change as a person, you grow. Somebody might not be ready. Somebody may feel like they outgrown somebody, or you just not communicating or not dating. So sometimes you need to press pause and then get some help. So yeah.
What about you, Lyson? You going to the counselors?
I would. I think to me, marriage is not like saying what you said, but what you said is true as well. But like, especially when people who get married young. But to me, marriage is something that I will always fight for.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to go to counseling, we're gonna go to counseling.
Right.
That's just something that we would have to do. And if the fight is over, then the fight is over. But until we get to that point, I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that we good and we fix things. Because if you think about their situation, they have 4 kids, 4 of which who are still in their home. Junior is on his way out, but they have these children, and I don't know. Like, on one hand, I didn't know if this. Let me run that back. I also was talking about how Blackish likes to dig into topics and situations that a lot of people don't either talk about, or stuff that people don't really know about. Like, I really love their Juneteenth episode, but going back to this, when I first started watching the episode, I was like, oh, okay, they trying to make it, let people know it's okay for Black people to go to therapy, counseling, whatever may have you, whatever you need, which I really liked, because the way Dre didn't, to me, he didn't say anything funny, like, Black people don't usually do this. He just kind of was like, we're going to go to our family counselor, whatever. And I thought that was dope. But, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of on the fence, though. At the end, I'm like, and even with the previews for next episode, I'm like, is this going back to that whole Tracy Ellis Ross and Anthony Anderson pay thing? Is it about to end, or are they just because there has not been a really big dramatic event within the show? Are they just trying to create something there? So I guess I wanted to get your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I think it's great that they're showing that they're not, because for the most part, it seems like they have a perfect world. Every time they have their issue, and at the end, maybe in next episode, they solve it. So I think that's great. And like I said, Tracy Ellis Ross is actually directing these series. I don't know how long this problem is gonna last, but I think she's directing a couple episodes, and maybe that's part of one of her, part of her pay. And they said they was gonna pay her. So, because everybody else, if you think of Lawrence Fishburne, Anthony Anderson, they're producers of the show, so of course they would get a little bit more money. But by her being the director, that's probably one of the things she probably put in the contract, like, if I'm gonna stay in here. But Speaking of marriage, before we get off real quick, I just want to say that I got an opportunity. My pastor and his wife did a series on marriage, and a lot of pastors won't even marry you till you do marriage counseling before you get
Right.
married.
Right.
So that's how important that it is because they want to see. Of course, they're not the end all be all, but they want to know like, are you ready for this step? Because after going through those sessions that they had, marriage it's not a joke. It's not a game. It is not a game. Like that is something very serious that you should take serious if you ever decide to do that and take that step. It's really not a game because you're with somebody for life and you're gonna inherit every single thing that they are, their flaws, their imperfections, their perfections, everything. So yeah, I would yeah.
Yeah. As far as the show for me, I think that like I was gonna say what Mwanja just said or initially said. I think you technically or usually see them with an issue, then it's resolved by the end of the episode, or
Right.
even may linger a little bit on to the next episode, like the issues with his mom. But I think that it was what was interesting to me is you usually see maybe white people talking about counseling and couples therapy, but when he
Right.
went back to work, I guess besides what's his name, besides Wanda Sykes and the other dude,
Deon
Deon
Cole.
Cole, being black, a lot of the people at the table were like, "You're gonna marriage therapy? You're scheduling sex?" Like it was interesting for me to see that coming from their side, and he's like, "Well, what's wrong with it? We're trying to build our marriage." Instead of it being the black people like, "You don't need that. You just need that."
Right.
So I think that was an interesting flip. And then for me, I just at first it is still kind of questionable. I'm curious to see where they go. I'm curious to see what they do with Junior. For going to college, going to Howard.
Is he getting spin off? Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people too, not to get off subject, are expecting Grownish to be that black experience. But yeah, I think it's I don't want to say good, but it's good to see that you can be out of whack, and it's good to show that. Not that even like you can have a successful show or successful family, doctor, marketing person, and still have issues, and hopefully they show that they overcome it or something. So yeah.
Real quick, yeah, I'm glad you made that point. I don't want to try to linger on with it, but I don't want to put any words in her mouth, so I won't say who said this. But they said they like Grownish, but they said the only thing about Grownish is that it doesn't make you want to go to college, like Different World. Where Different World, you want to go to college, want to play this and the other, but it came more so of her relationship because you rarely see them in class, and she's kind of talk about that. So it's good you make that point. So hopefully with Dre, by him going to a black HBCU, I wonder if they'll do a spinoff like that because they can really take. Blackish like to different streams of revenue and stuff like that. So
what was interesting about A Different World, though, I think the first season, a lot of people felt like that about that show because before Debbie Allen came in and kind of started taking control, I forget her name. She was on Empire, and I think she even won a what do you call that, an Oscar or some shit. Because I remember Kadeem Hardison and another character were like, she got cut from the show, one of the white girls, and to make it more of a black experience. And Kadeem was like, I remember telling her like, you're gonna go on, you're gonna win an Oscar, just saying shit. But she really went in, she did great things without it. But it was a thing where Debbie Allen was like, I'm watching, ain't no hot sauce on the table, ain't really that experience. So they bring in all these characters, and I think it was great because they did such a good job of doing the love aspect, and they were in the dorms, they were in the school, they were in classes where you learn lessons about. It was episodes about colorism and HIV and AIDS, and Tupac was on the episode, and outgrowing your friends from home, and I think it really ended because of the LA riot issue and them speaking out on that. It was a great episode. Willie and Dwayne got married, honeymoon in LA. But yeah, it was a show that tackled that. So I think hopefully they come next season, or maybe Junior goes to Howard, and it shows that experience, and I think that will really help too. So. Fun fact.
For sure.
Time for my nine. Do you think a woman can really gauge a man's interest by how often he texts her, initiates conversations with her, or responds to her texts? Let's start with the guy in the room.
No, someone like company. Someone just like company. If you're a good conversationalist. Now it depends on the content of what he's saying. If he's trying he might be trying to lead you on. If he's done doing that, then that's wrong. But if he's just having a conversation, he loves your opinion on music. Like for me, I love a woman that has you ugly. I love a woman that has a great taste in music, and I can have a conversation with her about just anything about, or even movies and film or anything like that. But it doesn't go further than that. I know for me sometimes though I might kind of take it a little
Will she
bit
play
further.
this song?
Libra.
What's that?
You know what this is?
Mm.
You can't hear that. Don't know what it is.
I know the beat. I don't know the song. Damn, what song is that?
You don't know what this is, Lassie?
I feel like I do, but I don't.
Your mouth want to say it, but you don't know. The
Who,
listeners
is it
like, really?
OJ's?
No. That's the name of the group too.
Why is this the beat? Where the song? Where the words?
Because
Now,
old
you
school
know, I was
songs
gonna say
take
you know the
26
old
Right.
school songs.
I'm sorry, still playing the beat.
Fire.
Aquarius. What's the name of the song?
Now, my name is Paul. See, I like all women.
Why did I heard? I don't know. I can't
I'm
even.
gonna make you figure this out.
All women are
You rewind it back?
I fast forwarded.
If this is you, then this is what I want
It's only like
you
20 minutes long.
It's like 11.
Mm.
I want to say that not the Four Tops, the Spinners, the Delphonics. I don't know. Larry. Float on. I don't know who's singing though.
The floaters.
Floaters.
The Floaters. Oh man.
She said it's their name.
Yeah.
The Floaters. Oh man,
Thought
those
that was a
little
good
mini
underlying
little
song.
groups, boy, they used to thrive back in the day. Like you'd be so many. I
You
can
wanna
imagine
dance,
being back in
baby.
the day, like because now it's so limited to have a boy band because they're after 2 or 3 years they get the success they are and they always break up and they did it back in too, but they'll always
Yeah.
come back. But they had so many little bands or
Groups.
Um,
Little pants on. Anyway.
with afros and stuff.
So you basically said these niggas,
No, I'm
You
just
just for
saying.
fun?
No, just women just don't fall for the like. Some men like to have a conversation with you and don't take it for more than what it is. If you feel like he likes you, ask him. And you know, some dudes lie, but hopefully by the time that you've been talking with him, you can kind of get a gauge of the character he is, and then you should be able to know if he's telling the truth or not. And if he likes you, go ahead.
How about you, Lassie?
I feel like if guys are gonna go down the road that Mwanje is saying just for conversation, then there should be a very straight line. It should be something that she knows. I'm not looking to get into anything with you. This is conversation. I would like to have a conversation with you from time to time because I feel like things can turn into mixed signals very quickly.
But that's their fault. I
Let me-
think
let
it's
me-
the person's fault.
Let me ask you, do you think you can gauge a woman's interest by how often she communicates, text, talk to you on the phone or stuff like
You
that?
can get an idea. No wait no hear me out because I've audited my guys' texts and they've had
Horrible.
they've like, oh man, bro, you know what happened? Like a girl might say, hey, what's your name? You might be at a club or something or a bar or something. The girl like, hey, what's your name? And she just talk to you, and then they say, you turn, man, dog, I think she want me. No, she just asks you for your name, or she's asks you like what type of sports you like. She just asks you general questions. So I'm gonna say no.
Where do you think these questions come from, though? Just out of
Curiosity. Yeah, because human beings need to be connected.
I'm just
with
asking
one- with-
questions.
No, I'm not attacking you.
Yeah.
Did it feel like I was attacking you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
What
say it
about
like
you,
that. I was
Lassie?
just saying I was excited by my answer.
I
Sorry.
That's cool.
Want me to attack?
one more time.
No, I guess because I asked him in the reverse side, do you think you can gauge a woman's interest? And he said no, but he gave a story about auditing text messages, and when a woman says, "Hey," or "What's your name?" and I asked him, "What do you think that comes from?" and he says curiosity.
I would say yes because just in my experience, men who have been interested in me have done those things.
Yeah.
Men who wasn't interested in me were the ones that I had to text or
Do
reach
shit
out
you
to.
do. You text a little bit and dip out.
Right. Or
Don't attack me, fam. On my life, don't attack me.
What you gonna do about it? Throw a mic at me?
Continue.
maybe we got serious. No, but I think you can. And I don't know, like I just feel like again from my experience, I thought guys were interested, but then I wasn't hearing from them, and it's like you can't possibly think that that I think that you're interested in me when you don't call, text me, nothing. We don't see each other. We only see each other out and about, not even planned. Like I see you at the same place that I'm at, type thing, and it's like, oh hey, and then they want to show their interest in person, but once I'm not in your face, then you have no interest to show.
Yeah. Going back to your point, you saying that men should, or even women, should make it cut and dry. Say, hey, I'm just only here for conversation. I think it kind of throws off the vibe a little bit
Yeah.
because it I don't know, like if it's not organic to me now. It just kind of seems like I don't know. I feel like it's
I
organic.
feel like that should happen before you even get their number, though. Not saying within the conversation. If your intentions aren't to, I mean, I guess no one should just assume what someone's intentions are.
Conversation.
But at the end of the day, if you meet somebody, say you at Brownstone, say you meet somebody at Brownstone, and she kind of feeling you, but you not feeling her like that. You just she cool. Y'all had a good conversation. Maybe you want to continue this over the phone, but she all this time she feeling you. So, I mean, maybe she won't let it be known. But if she never let it be known, and you consistently talking to her, she's gonna think, oh, this guy might be interested too, when that's not the case.
No, I get it. I think if you're on the receiving end and you're saying that you feel like that you like someone, I think then it should be communicated, because now you're projecting feelings that I might not have on me. But I think on the other end, the giving end, if you will, like if I might say, for instance, the same one at Brownstone, I'm like, you know what, I like your conversation. I would love to talk to you further outside of Brownstone. By the way, this is, I'm not trying to get to know, I'm not trying to date you or anything like that. I just like your conversation. I think by me just saying, I would like to, I don't know. I guess then again, that would kind of allude to, I want to date. What would you think? What would you think? Like, you think that's kind of alluding to?
I think it's technical. I think because, like Lassie said, you can lead people on in a sense. But I think, like you, I think if you sat there and we were vibing. By the way, I'm not really looking for nothing, but we got a good conversation. I feel like that's being honest, straight up. But I think it can throw a vibe off. But I think you being honest. And then it depends on where both. Yeah, I guess. But it depends on where both people are in their lives too. If for me, I don't go places looking to meet people or expecting that this should end up as that way. So I feel like if I'm talking to you and we consistently communicate, but I feel like it should gradually progress from texting, talking on the phone, to seeing one another. That's how I would kind of gauge it. And then just being openly honest about where we're headed, if we're headed somewhere. I wouldn't try to assume things from people.
Right, yeah, I would ask.
You ask, or like I said, you gradually shift from, I'm not going to be texting to talk to you on the phone for months and shit. Like, we need to do stuff. That's how I'd be like, okay, we're clearly not interested in one another, or somebody's not interested if we're not really getting somewhere. But I think it's how you word it too. Like, I'm not really looking for nothing right now, but you got a good conversation.
Yeah.
Bitch, don't be using me to text, bitch. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and like I said, it comes off cocky too. Cause I'm like, well, now if you really did like the person, you'd be like, I don't want you. I just, yeah.
But I think if you leave it at that, I really like your conversation. I think that's fair game to me, because if we go out, if I'm out and we're talking, I really enjoy your conversation. I think it's open to say, you go, okay, he or she liked my conversation, cool. I feel like you can't really assume anything from liking a conversation, because we just both got good conversation. And as time goes on, if you're still communicating, or you go out, or you're texting, you can kind of gauge that. And like I said, just be open and ask questions, or make sure you understand where things are going.
Yeah, because going back to my guys, like sometimes they're like, oh, she want to go out for drinks. Like, okay, she just want to go out for drinks. That doesn't mean that she wants you or anything like that. She just want to go out for drinks.
Depends on what you mean by wants you. Because I feel like, for me, I guess what I'm saying is you're really just getting to know a person or whatever. Like, I guess when you get further along the lines, like if you come in with intentions of being a dirty ass dude or dirty ass girl, like, I don't want to do nothing but use a motherfucker or have sex with them, you take money from, like, whatever. If you come in with bad intentions, things like that, that's where things get a little sticky. But if you just really, for me, if I'm out and I'm just communicating, like, I like your conversation, we'll see where it goes.
Right.
And if it ain't what it is, or we go out and it's like,
yeah, I think adding no extra pressure might hinder the vibe.
I think it's fair game, because I think it's fair to not lead somebody on. Like, you shouldn't do that. But I think, like you said, it throws it off if you come too strong. But I think it's fair. I really like your conversation. It's not saying I want to be with you. It's just saying we communicating. So I think it's fair game.
Blush, when you met your significant other, like, how I know you talked about it, but what vibe did you get from him when you were all communicating and having a
Well, he
conversation?
had a girlfriend when I met him,
Oh.
so
She the girl. She the girl.
yeah, he had a girlfriend when I met him. But I mean, when we reconnected, we both kind of were like,
Jay is stupid.
we both just were upfront. We both said we were not really looking for anything. You know, he was going through a rough time, and I was adjusting to working full time, trying to get my own place, things like that. So I was like, cool, whatever. You know, if you need a friend, I'm here. We can hang. If
Ooh.
you feel like you need someone to motivate you, because it
Like that
didn't. To
angle.
me, it didn't seem like his friends were doing that. So
Ooh.
that was just my stance. And then I don't know if I talked about it on here, but he invited me to dinner with at his best friend's house, and after that dinner, he had ended up expressing, you know, how he kind of fell for me and things like that. And
I see.
after the dinner with his friend, I felt not
I'm looking at Lassie.
I felt kind of cornered. Like, I was like, damn, he just gonna invite me to his friend's house, and they were all like, you should talk to him, you should date him. And I'm like, let it happen naturally. And we kind of both said we weren't looking for anything. But after that, I was like, well, I can't really reciprocate what you want. And then after that, I ended up liking him.
Yeah, she was
Lassie
denying
knew
it.
what she was doing.
She was
Lassie
denying it
said,
for
I'm
whatever
gonna be a
reason.
friend first. 'Cause
She-
no, I noticed none of your other friends are really sticking up for you like
No,
that. I'm gonna
that's-
be a
I
friend
mean,
first.
that's
I didn't say
not-
that was your intention, but it's just funny. Like that's a great way
But
to
I feel
meet
like
people. Sometimes.
But I feel like that's what I'm saying though, because
Right.
you go out and it's fair game. I guess if that's where y'all both were, you both were really at that point. It wasn't you both were really there. Like, okay, I'm just out of this relationship. I'm trying to get my shit together. We can be cool.
Right.
And I feel like that's fair game.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
And it grew organically
Yeah,
to where
and
it
just
is
like
now.
that, if it's fair, I like your conversation, but I ain't trying to do nothing with you. It's
Right.
kind of like,
Right.
all right, pick one or the other. Like, so I feel like, yeah, I like your conversation, and that's fair game. It ain't like I like you like this, because the other person too probably like.
But he knew what he was doing too, and he brought you to friends. Where
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they got to that point.
Yeah.
It was like a next
Well,
step.
at that point, he liked me. He knew he liked me.
Yeah, but he knew
Yeah.
bringing his friends in there, they would, he might go somewhere and they're like, what you think about McCoy? And that's the first thing he'll say.
But it ain't like you there for a reason.
Right, you there for a
now. You know
reason,
what I'm
like,
saying?
you're-
it's like
yeah.
a step. It ain't
Yeah.
like if I don't like you, if I'm just leaving this to the phone or we just kicking it, or I'm just your friend and I ain't really trying to be on that. For me, I ain't going.
Right.
If I have some underlying or we cool, like if I feel comfortable enough, I'm gonna go. But other than
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
and if I know somebody like me and I like,
I went for the food.
But
I
it's
would
scary
never
thing.
do
It's
that,
like
but-
it's sometimes you always feel like it's a game, and sometimes you can't really play a game. Just be like
Be
you
you.
said, be you.
Yeah.
Just feel the vibe, and that's the unfortunate thing. A lot of times, like a lot of people they're playing the game. So
yeah,
man, that was a good conversation. I like that. I had to put my iPad down. Ooh.
yeah, you had to tuck it in and shit.
Lassie boy, Lassie know what she be doing, y'all. Lassie act like she the innocent one, but she that mesmer. Okay, I see you. You preyed on that man. PREY.
Hilarious.
Look at me like one day.
Yeah, good, interesting
done.
conversations. Quote of the week.
Quote of the week.
What's up?
Don't listen to Mwanje.
Right.
No,
I will steer you
my
wrong.
phone didn't want to open. Okay, quote of the week. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.
Quote of the week. Be fearless in the pursuit. What
Almost
sets your
missed
soul
it.
on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Speaking of pursuit, I want to talk about
Empowerment of the week.
Empowerment of the week. I want to get into Vale Phillips. I did not know of this woman until my grandmother called me one day. Was like, "Hey, Vale Phillips passed away." I'm like, "Who's that?" Well, she's
Really?
the first black judge in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And Essence, I just had the article up, but she passed away on the 18th. And Essence did a nice little write up about her. And come on, Essence, I just had the article up. Come on. There we go. All right. She died at 94. I didn't do too much research on her, so I'm just gonna go from the article.
Did you just say she died in 94?
No, she died. She was 94.
Oh,
She died.
at
She was
94.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said
Yeah, at 94. What I say?
It sounded like you said she died in
Yeah.
94.
I thought I said at. I'm sorry. She was born in Milwaukee, February 18th, 1924. She was a social justice and civil rights leader in Wisconsin. She had a speech where she said, "America's not the land of opportunity it was portrayed to be." not while discrimination is segregation exists, where those belonging to the Negro race can secure. Ooh, that's old. Negro race can secure only second-class citizenship and with definite limitations. She graduated from Howard. We talked about how she's Delta Sigma Theta. Um, she was in the Milwaukee Commons Council in 1956, and once again, she advocated against segregation and mistreatment of black residents. She resigned from the Common Council, and in 1978, she became the first woman to elected to be Wisconsin Secretary of State. And yeah, let me see. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I just want to talk about just her determination and her willingness to fight for what's right and equal justice. And yeah, we could do the same thing. I know we are all trying to fight that good fight, and yeah, I just want to show her some love because I didn't know too much about her,
Yeah.
and we have that rich history here in Milwaukee too, and we do. Have you ever all got a chance to go to the Holocaust Museum, Black Holocaust Museum?
I
Mhm.
went before. Yeah.
Yeah. I went in the 6th grade before they closed it.
Oh, really? I never got a chance to go. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
For me.
Because I remember they had that school built right there, and I was going to Hartford next to UWM, and we took the bus. And my mom she likes Black history, so she took my aunt. And I think that's when, what's his name? Is it James Cameron? I think that was him. He was still living when she went. But once he died, it just kind of went under. I wish it stayed open, though. Speaking of which, I kind of really started to kind of get into who she was, Vel Phillips, when I think me and Liz kind of talk about things like that at work. But I watched this documentary like 2 years ago. It was on YouTube. I don't know if it's still on there, but if you're interested in seeing it, it's called Decade of Discontent. It's a film on the Milwaukee Civil Rights Movement. So it featured her, the names that Jesse Jackson, Dick Gregory, and also James Grappy too. I didn't realize that bridge, I think that's South 27th Street, that bridge was named after him. Who's white guy. He was very heavily into the civil rights struggle in Milwaukee too. It's really, really interesting. I think it was filmed in the 80s, but it kind of talked about the different struggle. I can't really remember, but I think it had things about housing and jobs and yeah, it's really good. And it's about Milwaukee. So if you're from Milwaukee and you haven't seen it, I think a lot of people have seen it though. Check it out. It may still be on YouTube. So and it had Miss Vel Phillips in there, and it was interesting seeing her younger back then when they filmed it, just kind of talking about things in the city and civil rights and stuff like that. So
So I just want to show her some love. So yeah, that's episode 72.
Ask YBO. Guys, submit your Ask YBO questions. They could be about anything about us individually, as a group, something you just want to say to us, whatever. YBOpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our website and just submit that there, YBOpodcastmke.com. Yeah, how you guys feel about the episode?
I feel like it was good. It was really
Great.
Yeah. I like how we can just boom, boom, bam.
good. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
And touch a dick and need more water. Sounds really bad, but
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
Shout out to Lassie. Sneaky sly.
you're hilarious. Episode
Gemini.
stupid episode.
72.
You gonna dap her for being sneaky, Gemini?
Yeah. They got that double side. We can be nice and sweet and be sour. Sour Patch Kids.
Terrible. Episode 72, as always. I am Reese Berry. That's REESE BERRA. 4 Ys is Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and Instagram.
And I'm Lassie at Lola Baby on Snapchat, BAYBEE, and on Instagram and Twitter at LaCrimLola. Mwanje.
And it's your boy Mwanje. That's MWANJE. Follow me on all social media platforms. And yeah, turn the fill up. No, it's playing.
Hilarious. Lassie, tell them where they can find the pod and radio show too.
You can check out all of our podcast episodes on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Videos be posted every week. So yeah, make sure you subscribe.
Why tell them about the radio show?
Radio show every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. 1 hour of power. You can check us out. You can go to 104.1 River West Radio if you're local in the city, and www.riverwestradio.com if you're not. And if you're local too, you can also go there too. And then if you want to see us kind of record live, we are in the River West area, so you can check us out and just walk past and say, hey.
Come look in the window and watch us. You can't come in. I'm just
You can't come in. Yeah. But yeah, you can always check us out there too Tuesday. And yeah, we appreciate all the love and support and everything, and all the people that call in and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Shout out to podcasting, y'all. 72, we out.
Peace. Fill up.